I have a video for you. Let's go racing. Good evening and welcome to the Monday Night Mayhem MRL Cup Series. I am Mean Gene Money coming to you live from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Got my tag team partner Zach Panzarelli here in the booth with me. And ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a treat tonight. It's week 9 of our 12-week race season. It's a win and you're in for these boys in these next-gen cups, and this super speedway action is gonna make it dynamic. In fact, I just can't control myself right now. Zach, how are you feeling, buddy?
Oh, I'm feeling so good, me and Gene. Here we are at Hot Atlanta. Man, when I saw this one in the schedule, I just immediately thought of last year's race here. Last year, this was a cutoff race to make it to the Final Four, and it was easily our most dramatic race of the season until we got to our finale. But oh my gosh, this place put on a show on Monday night last season. So I had this one circled. I've been looking forward to this one. I'm so excited to be here, me and Gene.
That's right. Boys thought they were going to win the race. All of a sudden, Jax Duvall decided, I'm going to wreck somebody. He pulled it off not once but twice, gets the win. And there were two guys, him and Brandon Guerin, just so close to each other. It was ridiculous. So Jax took the win. Brandon Guerin got second. Justin Parham third. And you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to cruise on down to the track for a minute.
Oh God, I know this is close to where me and Gene is, and he does these things sometimes, and go. Okay, it's too late.
Thank you, Zach. That's right, true believers. It's me, Mean Gene Money, and I am here trackside at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The MRL Monday Night Mayhem Series comes live to Atlanta. It is week 9 of our 12-week regular season, and we are ready to bring you all the action. It's winning you're in tonight, so keep a close eye on your favorite driver, because tonight could be his lucky night. He could make the money move of the race and punch his ticket into the playoffs.
Cut. Go.
Atlanta Motor Speedway has been reconfigured multiple times since its initial construction in 1960. The latest in 2021 turned this track into a super speedway. They increased the speeds. Now this increased speed has turned Atlanta into a restrictor plate race. In fact, let's turn up the danger a little bit. They've reduced the size of the track from 55 to 40 feet in the corners. Practice was fast, and I can't wait to get this race started. Let's go, boys.
Me and Gene, oh man, whenever you have the opportunity, I just can't trust it. You're always at those racetracks, but wow, it was cool to see you there. What was it like? Tell me.
It was mint. Those of you that watch the broadcast know exactly what I'm talking about.
That was a deep cut right there. That was a deep cut.
That was a deep cut. It was amazing. Are you kidding me? This track is something special. As I made reference to, 2022, the track received a full facelift. They changed it dramatically. They made the corners tighter. They widened the straightaways. There's more banking, fast and tight. That's how we like our racing, and that's exactly what Atlanta delivered. I saw an amazing race, all of it easily visible from the stands. If you have the opportunity, I really suggest you go see this thing, especially at night. And that's what we're going to be treated to this evening, is a night race at Atlanta. Cannot wait to see what happens. The boys are done with practice. It was exciting. Tony Iverson currently out there putting down some burners right now. Daniel Smith as well. Daniel, but I'll tell you what, let's talk about last week for just a minute. Watkins Glen, last week, we saw Nicholas Mazza in just his third MRL race come out, get the pole, lead every lap, won the stage, and then takes the win. Pretty much put on a clinic on how to drive. But his record at super speedways not quite the same. Remember, he had that wreck at Daytona. So Nicholas, he's got rid of the 3-digit number. What do you expect him to do today?
Not what he did last week, me and Gene. I'll tell you that much. The super speedways are
No domination.
no domination. There's really, to me, there's not no such thing, but it's hard to come by, especially in the sim racing world, to dominate a plate track. I like to call these tracks the great equalizers because anyone has a chance to take home that checkered flag today. This is a place where if you've been getting dominated by specific drivers in the field, this is where you can get your licks back and get in victory lane. So Nick Mazza still making an impression in this league, still very new here, but man, did he make a statement last week. But yeah, this is a totally different story tonight here in Atlanta.
Well, he made an impression. Points series leader Colin Bollinger, he got second place, but just could not put up a challenge to Nick Mazza. Matt Novella, another road course specialist, he took third. That was your top three last week. Here we are back at Atlanta, though, and if you remember what happened to Michael Mata, this guy led tons of laps, and then a late caution and some pit strategy confusion took Michael Mata out of this thing. So Mata and that entire MC Motorsport with Jonathan K. Sabir, they'd like a little redemption tour here tonight.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys, and when I talk about how it's hard to control your destiny and these tracks are equalizers, there are guys who still stick out. In real life, you think of guys like Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski, where it doesn't seem to matter where we are as long as it's a plate track, Talladega, Atlanta, or Daytona, they are up front. And when I think of that in the MRL, I think of Jonathan K. Sabir. This guy, it took until this year for him to get a win on a non-plate track, and he had a handful of wins on plate tracks before then. He knows how to get it done here, and if he's not in first here, me and Gene, he's finishing second. Last time he was here was in the MRL Truck Series, and he brought it home second place.
Yeah, this guy just so fast. He had a couple of podiums back to back, and we expect to see the continued success, especially here now that he's on this super speedway. But oh my word, last year's winner Jax Duvall just laid down a qualifying burner, puts himself up at the top. There's his Gulf Coast former Gulf Coast teammate, high side hustler, David Owens is now down there laying down a lap, see if he can take over that lead spot. But right now, Jax Duvall seems to be the guy to beat. Michael Mata second, Daniel Smith third. Daniel, that guy really had a good week last week. He had the fastest lap, but unfortunately for him, he just couldn't put him together consistently. Ended up being a lap down and suffering. There's Kevin Kyle. That is our iRacing Super Speedway winner. That win punched his ticket into the playoffs. Kevin, the California driver, putting on a show out there with 2X Motorsports. I sure hope some of his teammates show up this time, though. He's been running a lot of solo, and it looks like with no Jack Sanders on the course, no Austin Merrow, no Mason Somali, I think he's going to be on his own.
Yeah, he may be. But speaking of who I'm seeing on here, Gene, I see some precarious names. I see a name that I haven't seen in a long time. I see Kenneth Redinger.
Oh my word! Regulars, two last year's regular season points champion, right?
Yes, sir. And we haven't seen him since.
Oh, this is lovely. Welcome back, Kenneth Redinger. Guys, if you have not seen him, you are in for a pleasure. This guy is the point of consistency. He hits his marks. He's a clean driver. You're really going to enjoy watching him. All right, so I'm hearing it now from officials. Qualifying is over. I've got the voice of Joe Vulpes, the admin, in my ear from Royce Chat, and that's a sign it's done. So your pole sitter is going to be Michael Mata. He's running that.
Jax Duvall.
Jax Duvall. Ooh, I needed to scroll up a little bit. Jax Duvall, the number 84 Goldfish driver. On the front row with him is going to be Michael Mata. Daniel Smith third, Joe Vulpes fourth. Bobby Dodson and Jonathan K. Sabir. That's a MC Motorsports third row. Brandon Guerin, I'm glad he made it. There was some doubt, but he's back. Starting in the seventh position. Eighth is going to be Nick Mazza. He says, I don't care. I'm back. I'll do it again. Ninth is Steve Lewis, and David Owens is 10th. That is your first 5 rows.
Yeah, in 11th place, you got Andrew Bollender searching for that first win. Kyle Lynott in 12th place. Keep your eye on him. And wow, we'll talk about that finish in the BRL at some point today. 13th place, Sean Walton. 14th, Richard Swingle. 15th, blind to Kevin Brower. 16th, Hunter Hall. 17th, John Beverly. 18th, Jose Medina. in 19th, and this is our last car that put it in a time. That's Kevin Kyle. And then just like the past, I think now 4 weeks, Colin Bollinger, the first car to not put in a time, our points leader in 20th place. 21st, another car who did not put in a time today, Tony Iverson. Justin Parham, 22nd. The return, Kenneth Redinger, genuinely so great to see you back, my man. 23rd place. Jared Kelly in 24th. We got some names out here, me and Gene. Wow. And
how about the bottom three? We haven't seen Parham in about 4 weeks. It's great to see him back. Kenneth, we haven't seen since last year. And Jared Kelly, he ran the Daytona Road Course, took that win over Buddy Sully in an exciting race. And now we see those guys on the bottom. Hey, you got your boy ready down there?
Oh, I do. I always do now, Mangy, and I will never forget again. Let's do this thing.
And now, race fans, for the most famous words in motorsports, the star of Universal Pictures movie, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, Kevin James.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Let's do this thing, Mean Gene.
I'm pumped up. They are taking it around right now. We got 24 drivers out there ready to do battle. Same number as last week. Last week, only 9 finished on the lead lap. Hopefully, they'll do a little bit better this time. 17 guys started here at Atlanta last year. 8 finished on the lead lap. But I tell you, I'm expecting some serious bump pushing, drafting, switching of lanes. This thing is going to get chaotic real fast, especially, I mean, look at that. Bobby Dodson and Jonathan K. Sabir on that third row. Those two guys are known for sticking their nose in all the right places.
Oh, yes, they are, Mean Gene. We have a fun cast of characters up front as the pace car pulls off and gets ready to lead these boys to green Atlanta.
All right, we're going to keep an eye on Jax Duvall. He is waiting for the flagman to take it to town. He's on that inside, and away we go. Jax Duvall gets an average start. Michael Mata on the outside, making use of that outside lane, trying to get that momentum. Daniel Smith on the inside, giving Duvall that push. Joe Volpus on the outside, pushing Mata. Going to bring it into 3, coming through 2 as they're coming down the back stretch right now. Jax Duvall trying to get the speed with Smith. Outside lane appears to have a little bit more momentum. It's Mata on the outside, Duvall on the inside. They're coming out of 4. Duvall with a slight advantage. The momentum of Mata comes through, and bada bing, bada boom. Michael Mata leads lap 1.
Doesn't matter if it's lap 1 or lap 120, Mean Gene. Michael Mata is Mr. First Gear on those restarts, and that's why you saw, to be generous, an average restart there by Jax. I mean, to be fair, like I say every week, the flagman is the one with the control there, but you saw how good Mata was able to launch off on that top lane and lead the first lap. You saw Duvall try to clear him there, try to take control of that top lane, then duck him back down to the bottom, and we'll see who leads this one.
Yeah, you could definitely see these guys making those moves. Mata again leads from the outside. You know, curious thing, what I saw live at the track when I attended a couple of weeks ago, it was right after they crossed the start-finish line is when you saw cars jutting hard down to the bottom, creating 3-wide situations. Still no 3-wide here today, but Daniel Smith, he is pushing the dickens out of Jax Duvall, and behind him, Bobby Dodson as well. Not a lot of movement with those front cars as we see Duvall finally take himself a lap, get him some points. Top 6 cars staying stationary. Looks like everybody's content to stay in line at the moment, but I expect something to happen.
You did see a loosey-goosey push from Daniel Smith over to Jax Duvall on the backstretch of that last lap. Not sure if it just wasn't lined up exactly how it needed to be or what the situation was, but Duvall got real loose. But if there's anything you know about Jax Duvall, he's going to keep his foot in it, and that's exactly what he did. But one thing about this track, Mean Gene, when you say that people are content to stay in, and I think they are, and really what it is about Atlanta, it's so much easier to create that third line at a place like Talladega than it is here. This track, while it has been repurposed as a super speedway, it still is not very wide, especially with that red line, which you are not allowed to go below at any point to gain positions. It makes 3 wide very difficult and very scary here.
Yeah, it seems it's a little bit wider on the stretches, but it is tighter once you get into the turn. Speaking of tighter, look in the very back, David Owens and Kenneth Redinger, they're having their own little party. Owens took an EOL for a technical difficulty at the beginning of the race.
That's what that was?
Pushed him to the back, and he is working with Kenneth Redinger. I guess Kenneth is trying to make friends again with David Owens. Not a bad guy to have on your good side, especially since he's teammates with Iverson, Thornton, and Buddy Sully with that High Side Hustler team.
And what you're already seeing happen here, Mean Gene, is cars, or groups of cars, I should say, losing the draft. And this is really, in my opinion, very exclusive to the next gen in terms of just how easy it is to lose that draft and end up like a Parham here, a Bollinger, or even worse, an Owens or a Redinger right there all the way back. And I can guarantee you, I think what that was a result of was that little situation you saw with the 01 of John Beverly there. He went from about 10th place all the way to the rear of the field, I think not liking the vibe of what he was seeing in front of him. But what that did is it caused a few checkups, Mean Gene, not big ones, but big enough to make these guys lose the draft. And just like that, even though they're formed up in a pretty organized group of four, still watching this bigger group in front of them pull away.
Yep, so you can see that larger group, and then there's a slight gap before a group of four. I think that group of four is going to catch up, led by Hunter Hall in that number 12, Justin Parr, and welcome back. He's in that 18 black and red car, and they do close that gap. If Colin Bollinger and the 01 of Beverly can just kind of sneak back in there, I think they do, and that lead group is back and secure. So still the two drivers, Owens and Redinger, trying to play catch-up there. It looks like, though, they're already starting to gap back. They're about 4 seconds back, maybe 3 of the back car of that lead group.
I mean, and I think their one saving grace right here, Mean Gene, is that this field in front of them is side by side. I do think that's what allowed the 12 of Hunter Hall in that group that he was leading re-catch that group in front of them, was the fact that they were able to get single file and you work together to catch this side by side group. Oh my goodness, big moment there. I believe that's Kevin Kyle into the wall. No caution, very, very off the pace, however. Not sure completely what went wrong there. We're going to stay green here, and let's take a look here, Mean Gene, at what just went wrong for the 27 of Kevin Kyle. So keep your eye on the top of the screen there, right in front of Tony Iverson. He tries to shoot the gap right into Mazza. Around, he goes hard into the wall. Iverson and Mazza, I think, may have collected some damage from that as well. But even worse for Kyle especially, no caution as he brings it down, likely to get some damage fixed.
Yeah, a few other cars off the pace as well. Meanwhile, up front, we're seeing a new leader, Bobby Dodson, making his way up to the front. He's getting a push from his MC Motorsport teammate, Michael Mata. And third place, Jonathan Quesabeer. So 3 of the MC Motorsports guys
3 wide behind
now
him,
controlling this race. Exactly. And then you got Duval, Daniel Smith, and Joe Volpes on the outside alone. And look at the 8 of Andrew Bolander. I wonder why that Pennzoil car is pushing that Pennzoil car. But boy, they look good together.
They do look good together, especially with the altering colors. But one thing that's sticking out to me, look at Volpes able to, for the most part, keep the pace without a drafting partner on that top lane. That is precarious to me, Mean Gene. We'll see if that's a trend as this race goes on. Nonetheless, look at Jared Kelly shoot the top, try to catch up to Joe Volpes there to really go truly 3 wide here. And man, Mean Gene, normally when I see this happen here, it doesn't last long.
But Volpes, veteran driver, 3-time BRL champion, able to easily hold that outside lane, especially Daniel Smith has had some good runs all year long. We're seeing him get better. He got the win just a few weeks ago. So that is a guy that you can trust to drive side by side with. Now, he's fallen back a little bit. You can see Sean Walton make contact with Brandon Guerin. And that's another guy right there, Sean Walton. He's a predictable driver, and you're usually safe around him.
07 and Volpes with a big hit in the wall on the front stretch, Mean Gene. And we'll talk about that a lot.
Him and the 53 got together, huh?
Yes, sir. And what is that front stretch not here at Atlanta, Mean Gene? Do you know?
I'm sorry, say that again.
So what is that front stretch not? What is that front stretch not at Atlanta as we go through it right now?
Oh, it has a 5-degree bank, but that is the spot where people decide to just cut down for whatever reason right after that start-finish line.
It's also anything but straight. It is so, I mean, there's 2 very dramatic corners. Let me ride on board real quick with Jared Kelly.
And we're a quad oval.
Watch how early, as Kelly giving a push right in front of him. I believe that's Walton, I think, in front of him. And oh my goodness. Oh no! On board with Kelly as the wreck happens.
It's live.
Oh my goodness, this is a big one, Mean Gene.
Yellow flag is out.
And now the 9 into the 57 as well.
Jared Kelly, clearly an employee of the VRN, giving us the best possible content.
Wow.
Is that our
the
first
57
live onboard wreck?
I think it was. You had great timing. And then I also saw the 57 and the 9 get together.
Yeah, and where did that happen? Mean Gene, well, it wasn't the front stretch. It was the exit of 4, if I want to be fair here. But let's take a look at what it looked like from everyone else's perspective. We got to see the POV there. So here we go. Oh, it was Walton. And abnormally, I don't think this will be Walton's
He's
fault.
getting smashed. What do you mean it's Walton?
No, I said it was Walton that he got into, but this won't be Walton's fault.
Okay.
This
So
won't
that
be
means
Walton's
just
fault.
driving.
Yeah, I know. Your favorite driver.
You're just driving.
All right, let's take a look at this.
Like when you're on the highway and that little Asian lady is in front of you
Whoa.
doing 25.
Getting
She's
canceled.
just driving. It
Oh.
ain't her fault.
Yep. She's doing her best. I mean, this one is not Sean Walton's fault, and that's what I was getting at. Jared Kelly with pushes in all the wrong places, and they both paid the price for it. And it's not over here now. We know that, right? So Walton, out of control. I mean, that car is very damaged. Into, I believe that's Garand into him. It is Garand.
Yep.
And then Garand into, let me try to get a shot on that one.
That's the 9 of Brower.
That's the 9 of Brower, correct, me and Gene. And then I saw even more action above them. Oh, there's just 2 guys. Oh, man. Oh, no, let's actually keep our eye on this. The poor
gonna
pace
come
car.
back.
Oh, no, not the pace
Yes.
car. Gets hit by both of them. Oh, my goodness, but that was real. You know what? The pace car gets our first ever pace car, one of these.
Wow. I want you to go out there and hit the pace car.
A T-bone pace car moment of the race.
I wonder what that one tastes. I bet you that's like Kobe. Kobe
Yeah,
steak.
that's some genuine. That's expensive meat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
sentence.
you get the pace car. Wow, they're busy down there. Look at all these cars visiting
Pit
Road.
All right, let's go back to that real quick, actually. My apologies.
Yep. Owens, Mazza, Bollinger, Parham,
And they're all coming out
Redinger,
now.
Big names.
And a few guys staying out as well. Light's still on the pace car, so we'll take one more look. I just want to follow the main part of this wreck here, me and Gene. I just want to see who else was involved in this one. So here we go. There it is. No fault of really anyone here. That's a racing incident. Okay, so there's the 9.
Let's look at the 1. He's taking an extended pit
The
stop.
1
as well.
is, okay. The 01, a Bev.
Yeah, Beverly.
So here he is coming through it. Oh, no. Oh! Mean Gene, you're a fortune teller. Did you want to see that one again?
Mm-mm.
Oh, we're going to.
Unless you want to do an in-car.
Oh, we're going to do this. 1, 2. Boing. We got 2.
Got him.
Had to censor that one for violence. Oh, man. Sean Walton could not catch a break in that wreck, could he?
Mm-mm. Now remember, true believers, we do have a fast repair here, so that opportunity will come out. The question is, who has already used it? Kevin Kyle back on the track after his early shenanigans, still being shown a lap down. And then there's John Beverly. This guy's in the middle of an extended pit stop because he's way down to Kevin Kyle as well. So he's going to be struggling. Up front, though, Daniel Smith being shown as your leader. Exactly. And then there's dudes that pitted and dudes that didn't. And that is where it's going to get
So,
real fascinating. What is
everyone-
it about Owens?
Everyone came down, Mean Gene. It's just a matter if they took, from what I mean, it's
2.
hard to tell if there was 2 or 0. So 7 seconds or less is all the way down to Owens. You're 1,000% right about that. Called that one.
Mhm.
And then from that point on, I'm seeing enough time to take 4 tires. Bollinger, weirdly, 20 seconds spent in the pits. 5
Maybe you need
seconds
to
more.
light a cigarette.
Maybe
light-
that's about
light
a 5
cigarette.
second thing.
He's still the leader of the, well, I guess Maz is ahead of him, but he's still at the front of that group.
He is, and
Hunter Hall with an 8-second pit stop to move up just a little bit. So he's in the middle of that pack back in 14th. But I don't think he took 4 tires.
Nope. And it's time to find out if tires matter or not right now.
You don't need tires. They're just cars. All right, pace car is off. Daniel Smith, the 31 on the inside. He is going to be your control car. And let's see how he treats it this time. He's got Mata on the outside. And Team Pennzoil is away. The 31 of Daniel Smith gets a great jump. He's going to bring Andrew Bolander with a Bolander side by side with Mata. Big gap behind the 8 of Bolander. Outside, though, Case of Beer working with his teammate and his buddy. The 16 Amada, and here comes the
That's
32
too big of a
Bobby
gap.
Dodson.
That's too
Team
big of a
MC
gap.
Motorsports pushing. That 31's going to have to fade up in front of that other group and risk getting a hard hit. Right now, Daniel Smith is still in the lead, finally having help from his teammate. Coming out of turn 4 into the quad oval finish line. Look at the speed of Mata in the outside row. Michael Mata is going to lead that lap.
Right there, you saw the dangers of really what it was is too good of a restart from the 31 of Smith. Got too far ahead, and you saw he paid the price for it. Team Pennzoil right there looking out for each other, and the 8 of Bolander doing a good job not giving him too harsh of a push. But because of that, like you said, me and Gene, Mata just blasted off on that top lane and was able to capture the lead, and I believe lead that lap.
All right, so cars that look like they might have had some issues. You can already see Hunter Hall and Joe Volpus fading away just a little bit from the group in front of them. Then there's a big breakaway led by the 9 of Kevin Brower, Richard Swingle, Kyle Lynott, Steve Lewis, Jose Medina in that group. And Kevin Kyle, he's still got it rolling. But Kevin Kyle being a lap down, he would be the lucky dog if there's another wreck. That'll never happen, though, right?
Never. Definitely not here. Honestly, what is sticking out to me, Gene, is I'll give you guys an idea of this real quick. So here we are with our lead pack. It's been 2 laps. I think this will be 3. That is a huge gap to have formed in 3 laps. These guys, look at that. There it is on screen there to give you guys an idea. That back group, whether it have been something we didn't catch that caused the big checkup or just these guys who have already, I think all of them used their fast repairs, just wanting nothing to do with that lead group to that extent.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be a surprise. A group this big, they're not in danger of getting lapped because of speed, or they just all have damage or bad tires. Like you said, if I've already used my fast repair, don't want to ride in that group. You can see Steve Lewis, Jose Medina right there putting on a little display. Lewis was running up in the front early on, now choosing to be into the back. Meanwhile,
oh no, we got trouble.
Action. The 18
of Parham
goes sideways. Oh, it was 18 of Parham. That's no bueno.
And an unrecognizable paint scheme for Parham. And look at this. Oh, look at that disorganization that caused up front. 3 wide situations, no real line commitment here. Tony Iverson trying to figure it out behind Daniel Smith. You got Mata and and Case of Beer lined up right there on the top, and then 3 wide behind them with Owen sandwiched in between Dodson and Bolander. So all types of disorganization a moment like that creates, but that could have been far worse than it was. I actually think Parham got out of there without hitting anything.
Yeah, well, he definitely kept it on the straight and narrow. Paro running that 19, and he's got a buddy, Hunter Hall. He just ended up falling to the back of that group, so good for him. Funny story, Parham is the 18 on my iRacing live timing, but looks like he's the 19 on the track.
Yeah, I don't have his paint scheme like updating for me correctly, and it's showing 18, but it's like one of those atrocious iRacing default ones. And
look at that! I need to get him with Richard Swingle.
Exactly. Hey, or Jared Kelly, or Zap Panzarella.
I updated right before the race.
And look at Team Pennzoil. Like, you might be onto something here, me and Gene. These guys sticking together.
Well, they don't have teammates. Andrew Bolander doesn't have a teammate, and Daniel Smith, he's got friends he runs with, but I could easily see the car of Bolander just trying to tag along. And hey, why not? It's yellow. It's a gorgeous yellow. You're red, I'm black. Let's go.
Yep.
Up front, though, look at David Owens now threatening. He'd like to put his name into the hat, but instead he gets the door closed on him. Mata, Case of Beer, Bobby Dodson on the outside. Inside row, you got the high side hustlers, Owens, and the 13 of Tony Iverson, and then the Pennzoil boys right behind them. Outside lane finished off, getting a push from Jared.
Look in front of them, though,
Good racing right now. Is it lapper time?
It is. That's John Beverly right there in the 0-1. They're looks like they're going to try to get around him on the top here. Always a huge moment here in Atlanta here. Very, very sketchy, excuse me, compared to other plate tracks. As Mata, wow, what a move by Mata. Really, really read that one like a book and prepared for it. Case of Beer follows him through. Gorgeous move by the 16 and in the 6 and Dodson, those three, I can tell you from being teammates with Case of Beer and talking to him about these races, he works so well with those two specifically, Dodson and Mata, and you're seeing it right here. And we talked about Case of Beer before this race started. The cream still rises to the top in this style of racing with the guys who are super comfortable making those big moves.
Yeah, and we've seen those boys make those moves and have it cause a disaster before, but this time they make it through there, not a problem. Beverly fades back, now finds himself ahead of Joe Volpus.
Great
Those
job,
guys
my
are
Bev,
good friends.
as well.
Maybe Joe and Jack Duval will try to pick him up.
Oh!
Little wall bang by Iverson.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing at all, as he's going to go to the middle of Owens, though, of his teammate. 3 wide here between 2 teammates, and it looks like Kelly trying to make up his mind. Do they want to form up this third line? Are they going to leave Owens out to dry? What's going to happen here? As here we go into the corner.
Decision.
One thing that is happening, though, Mean Gene, is that inside line is saying, thank you very much, I'm out of here. That type of disorganization just quickly can lose you a significant amount of spots, as you're seeing it right here. These guys got to figure this out.
Yep, Daniel Smith ends up going to that outside, bringing Bolander with him, getting a push from Colin Bollinger. Hey, say those two guys' names quickly.
Oh, my gosh.
On that inside, you can see ahead now Kevin Kyle is that Kevin Kyle?
That is
up there?
Kenneth Redinger. That's
Oh,
right there.
Redinger, he's in a black car. Oh, look at that move by Daniel Smith.
And then Mata in the wall. Mata into the wall.
Case of Beer up top, 3 wide. It
Uh-oh,
is loose.
uh-oh,
Mata's
here we
loose.
go.
He's down into Bobby Dodson. Collects Iverson, collects Parham. There's a caution.
Wow.
Redinger made his way through traffic just in time to have a front row seat to all the mayhem.
Yeah, who makes it through that one? That's Bollinger goes from like 7th to 1st right there.
Wow.
Oh, man, Mean Gene, we got the big one on lap 32. How about that?
I love it. This caution brought to you by Chantilly Lace. For all your photography, still and video needs, Chantilly Lace. They'll capture the big one, and that's what we got here.
Yes, Chantilly Lace, I think we use their beautiful cameras that we cannot afford to capture this accident, and let's just see how good they looked. I'm gonna see so many things happening on my screen right here, Mean Gene. I am struggling to see what the actual accident was. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna get Chantilly's gorgeous logo out there. Check them out, chantillylace.com. Amazing sponsor, amazing work done by them. But this is not gonna be a thing of beauty, my friends. Here we go. So what I think we should keep our eye on right here, me and Gene, as I press the play button, is watch the front of this pack and watch the 31 Daniel Smith and the 16 Michael Mata. So right here, it's already a cluster. You know what? Everything is, they're trying to reorganize this the best they can. There goes the 8 of Bolander, a little bit into Mata. I mean, there's just nowhere to go. That collects Smith as well. Smith goes Tokyo.
Mata did the Ricky Stenhouse move.
Oh, gosh.
He saw a Pennzoil car that was faster than him, and he just slammed down in front of it.
Mean Gene. It's not
that
always
what
about
happened?
Joey Logano.
What? I forgot he drove that car.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Michael Mata with an absolutely enormous hit into the outside wall. That is 100% a fast repair. But one thing that stuck out to me and Gene, oh, keep your eye here on the 31 of Daniel Smith and watch how close he had this thing to getting saved here. So he's going to just get clipped by the 16 on Mata as the 8 and the 16 come together. That collects the 31 just ever so slightly. And watch this. We're going Tokyo right here. 1, 2, 3. Keep your foot in it. He's completely sideways here. And all he needs is for nobody to hit him. And watch Mata right there above him. Bam.
Oh.
Massive hit. And then not enough for Parham. He wants one more victim. He collects the 31 as well. I'm kidding, Parham.
Ouch.
Not your fault. And then, oh no, look at this. Look at the 13 of Iverson. About to do it for Dale. Oh, a reverse T-bone, as they call it on the streets. Oh man, that one took out, well, not out, but because we got those fast repairs, Gene, but that one hurt a lot of fast cars and turned their race upside down.
Yeah, we're burning metal.
But yes, we are. And Case of Beer, our leader, elects to take the bottom. Easy choice there, and obvious choice there, as he has his teammate of Bryson Dodson right there behind him.
Lights are off on the pace car. We're getting ready to go green. Jonathan Case of Beer is in the lead. Next to him is the 8 of Bolander. Bolander, big points contender, but looking for that first win. Second row, Bobby Dodson, going to be right behind his MC Motorsport teammate of Jonathan Case of Beer on the inside row. Outside, row 2, Kenneth Redinger, welcome back, already finding his way up to the front. Jared Kelly, Hunter Hall, that is the third row, and Nick Mazza, Jax Duvall, fourth row. I'll tell you who was the big winner of that last little incident, and that had to be the lucky dog of Sean Walton. That would let him get back. He was fading back slowly, also got some repairs done. He's got to be happy. David Owens still in the pit, getting a little bit of hammering done. And there's Kevin Kyle rolling again. Kevin is going to be the guy that's the first car a lap down. He'll be trying to get himself back onto the lead lap by way of the lucky dog. Michael Mata still in the pit, getting damage repaired. 2 minutes down there for him.
And then me and
so
Gene
far.
gonna rattle off some names for y'all real quick. This is
Do it.
everyone who came in. So they have 2 pit stops now. Parham, Lynott, Smith, Bollinger, Walton, Iverson, and Owens. Pretty much everyone who got damage there.
Audi. All right, here we go. Pace car is off. Case of beer bringing it down. He's that inside blue car. Keep an eye on him in the restart zone. Good start. He's going to try to bring his teammate with him. The 32 of Dodson draws side by side with that lead car of the outside lane. The 8 of Andrew Bolander. Bolander getting a push from Redinger. Inside lane, though, working. Jared Kelly, third car. He gets clear now. It's single file on the inside with Andrew Bolander alone on the outside.
Not anymore.
Bolander side by side in the third row with Jared Kelly. Redinger pushing Kelly. And now the top 2 cars bring it up high. You got 3 outside. 2 cars back, you got an entire row inside, and there goes Redinger up to the top. Case of beer going to lead this lap.
Look at that top 5, me and Gene. That top 5 warms my heart. Look at that. We got Case of Beer here leading with Dodson pushing him. Bolander, one of our newcomers, doing a great job as he looks to the inside of Dodson right there. Will Redinger follow him? And he was who was going to get you next. So great to see Redinger on the track and doing the same things he did last time we saw him about 6 months ago. Just whipping ass. Here he is looking the inside. Going to follow Bolander here. Really just trying to decide what lane he wants. And right behind him, another newcomer, Michael Mazza, and then a rookie of Hunter Hall in 6th place behind them. I'm sorry, actually, this is Hall's 2nd season. Rookie to me since he's new to DDI, but look at this top 5, me and Gene. I'm loving who we have here, and this is some great action we have, as I think one thing this field did not want to see is Case of Beer and Dodson lined up front.
Yeah, MC Motorsports, they have proved dominance again and again on these drafting situations. Right now, though, Kenneth Redinger, he doesn't have any friends, but neither does Andrew Bolander in that Pennzoil. Those 2 guys could hook up. Hunter Hall right behind them. Hall looking to turn around a slow start to his season, and a way to do it would be a super speedway win. The number 3, that black car, that's going to be Nick Mazza, who won last week. And hey, look who's made their way up front. That's Jose Medina in the 54.
Uh-oh.
Jose's got a heavy nose, so watch out for that 54. See what he can do in a pack of cars.
And look at this.
3 wide.
You saw Parham just leave Medina out to dry. Doubt Medina appreciated that one too much. That was a brutal, brutal situation there. As, oh my goodness, they're coming together here in the tri-oval, me and Gene. And at some point, we will get a chance to ride on board to show you guys just how ridiculous that tri-oval actually is in car. But right now, we can't take our eyes off this 3 wide. Owens in the middle.
Almost 4 wide right there as Hunter Hall closed the gap. Parham slams down to avoid it. But Owen still in the 3 wide situation. He's the sandwich meat in between Hunter Hall. Now it's Hunter Hall on the outside looking in as there's no outside row. He tries side drafting, but look at how hard Smith is pushing that 11.
Gorgeous move by Bolander. Gorgeous move by Bolander down to the inside to get control of that line. From what I can see of that 8 car, he's far more comfortable on the bottom than anywhere else. And again, you're seeing it here with the 12 like we saw with the 07 of Vulpes. No help, Mean Gene, none whatsoever, but keeping pace with 2 lines that are lined up, drafting, doing everything you're supposed to do to play track. That is interesting to me. Well, it is causing him to disappear momentarily, but that is very, very interesting to me, Mean Gene.
You've got 20 cars on the lead lap, and they are trying to keep it tight at the moment. Couple of lapped cars also in that group with them as well. So 21 cars in that lead group right now. Duval starting to fade away just a little bit, and the 01 of Beverly staying with him. So 21 cars in that lead group, 20 of them on the lead lap. Up front, it just continues to swap and move and ebb and flow as MC Motorsports still showing some dominance. Case of beer leading those laps.
Tiny
Redinger
little,
choosing to work with him. Who wiggled?
actually a little wall tap there from Dodson. We've seen that a few times. You actually can see a little bit of damage on the right side of that 32 race car. And I wonder what we're seeing here, Mean Gene, between also fuel saving, not blowing your engine, and also just oh no! Owens gets shot below the racer group in a round. Oh no! Owens trying to save it, Except, wow. Oh, Owens still trying to save it.
He's still sliding.
And he does. I mean, first of all, I want to commend David Owens for that awesome bit of driving right there. But man, if I'm Owens, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I kind of wish I spun that thing and didn't hit any walls, because you know what we still are, Mean Gene?
Under green.
Yeah, and that's the worst possible thing for that 11 car.
Yeah, he did not want that, especially considering that Kevin Kyle and Mike Amata ahead of him are a lap down, so he does not want to see this group come around and eat him alive.
But great save nonetheless by Owens. What a fantastic bit of driving. We've seen so many guys in a really identical situation to that today and not able to keep it straight, but the 11 car is, so good for him, and hopefully he's able to enjoy the fruits of his labor later in this race and get that caution that he's going to probably need. But what I was saying, though, Mean Gene, I think also Jonathan Quesabir, he needs to run every race for the rest of the season to qualify for the playoffs, much less make them on points. So I wonder also if Dotson's saying, hey, go lead yourself a lap and get those playoff points. And also, let's not blow your. Oh, as you see right there, Quesabir, touchy that wall. And I don't remember that being a thing last year, Mean Gene. I'm kind of curious about what's causing that, as both teammates there, the 32 and the 6, have had that happen.
Inside lane finally has it back together. Looks like Jax Duval leading them. He's got the 31 of Smith and the 8 of Bolinger right behind him.
That's Swingle confusing us in a goldfish car.
Oh, with a goldfish line. It's Richard Swingle making his way up to the front.
And look in front of them as well. Look who's in front of them, about to go a lap down. That's the 13 of Iverson.
Oh, my word. Richard Swingle, good run right there. He actually led that lap, and he's going to get a point. Look how loose and wiggling they're getting. What is Iverson going to do now faced with this freight train?
We're going 3 wide, whether they like it or not. Oh, boy. Iverson going to try, likely to stall out that bottom lane enough for him to not lose the draft here, but you see the moments that creates, Mean Gene.
Wow, outside lane, hard push by Dodson to get through that barrier of dirty air that might have been created. 31 inside lane pushing hard, 8 pushing hard. All of a sudden you can see that red car of Reddinger, or Parham, he shoots down, decides to be the 4th car in that inside lane. Outside lane, though, still controlled by MC Motorsports. And Reddinger, he seems to have teamed up with Quesabir and Bobby Dodson, been following them around for a few laps, Zach.
Yeah, great observation, because what I've also seen along those lines, Mean Gene, is opportunities for Reddinger to take him low, lead the inside line, and really get a shot at leading this race, but he hasn't been interested. I do think you're definitely onto something there, whether he be in a group with them or not, or just saying, like, these guys can get to the front whenever the hell they feel like it, and they are fun to push. Let me just follow them around, and that oftentimes is the best way to win these things, especially if you don't have a team coming in.
All right, little bit of cars starting to fade away in the back. You talked about these next-gen cars losing the lead group. We can see Vulpes in trouble, Steve
Smith.
Lewis in trouble, starting to fade away from that lead group. Meanwhile, up front, that side-by-side battle, the 31 of Smith now taking over the lead position in the outside lane, side-by-side with the 97 of Richard Swingle. MC Motorsports on the outside. Swingle, a ragtag group on the inside. Smith jumps right back down, trying to control this lane. And oh no, it's Michael Mata coming into the picture.
And look at this, Mean Gene. Smith has got to cut this out. I don't even know if he realizes he's. Oh no! What happened there? Oh my goodness! Massive
They're
wreck.
still wrecking Bobby. They're wrecking Bobby.
Mean Gene.
Hunter Hall into the back of Case of Beer. Into Bobby.
You know what's happening?
Swingle down.
Because this is
Are
a live.
Jinxing them?
Yeah, this is a live broadcast, so I can't like sometimes we do our rebroadcast. So I can be like, oh, we're not jinxing them. It's like it's in our heads. We are jinxing them. Whenever I try to go to a camera angle to make a point about what's happening, what I'm about to show you is what happens. Let's take a look at the wreck. But I feel like we have some sort of superpower that we're using kind of irresponsibly right now.
Well, you keep it away from my 23 buddy. You don't put it on him.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. So I'm gonna go to Case of Beer here. Case of
Stick
Beer.
that fork in your own leg.
This is gonna be one of two things here, Mean Gene: an equipment failure or a bad push from the 32. Because this 6 car is just gonna go right inexplicably. Here we go. So keep your eye on the 32, Mean Gene. Will there be a push? And there it is in the center of the tri-oval, and it's just a mistimed push, and I can tell you, Mean Gene, I can tell you exactly what happened there. And case of beer, hard on the wall, Swingle, who is, like we talked about, doing a exceptional job of leading that bottom field, and gets straightened out by Dotson, the first guy that coincidentally kind of was the catalyst of that whole thing. Still out of control. Turn Swingle again, and Hunter Hall, an innocent bystander. Brower saying, why me? Why always in front of me? And here, okay, so Mean Gene, I'm going to ride on board with Case of Beer real quick, and I'm going to show you what happened here. Because we've talked a lot about how I want to ride on board with somebody here through this tri-oval, and why it's so precarious, and this is exactly why. So here it is, and I'm going to keep it paused here to explain this to you guys. In front of you, you have a pretty sharp left turn. One of the sharpest left turns in all of the front stretches we go through here on the NASCAR schedule. And not just that, we're at a plate track. So I think, or I'm gonna say, I know, Mean Gene. I'll put my rent on this thing. Case of Beer is gonna already have the car turn left when he gets that bump. Here we go. So what you're gonna see, I think, here, Mean Gene, is you're gonna see Case of Beer turn the car left, and suddenly he's out of control. And there it is, already going left, and that's how you make that turn. And there's the bump, and he's out of control. That's exactly what I said was gonna happen there, Mean Gene. And oh, there he goes for a ride.
Owie.
Owie, owie, owie. And it never ends. I think he's about to have a Hunter Hall right up in him. Man.
Torpedo mode activated.
Yes, sir. As we go back live, and I'm assuming me and Gene, the entire field, just put some fresh ones on it. Am I wrong?
Yeah, funny story. Lots of the front runners choosing to stay out.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right. Bolander. Excuse me. One pit stop. Jose Medina, one pit stop. Behind him, 2 pit stops. But these are the guys who pit previously. The guys whose names I listed off before we went green last time, Mean Gene. Those guys being Kyle Lynott, Sean Walton, Colin Bollinger, Justin Parham. These were all the guys who had already pit after that last incident. And then we got a Steve Lewis. We got Brandon Guerin, Nick Mazza, Volpes, Brower, Hunter Hall. Wow. Mixed bag here, don't we?
Yeah, a lot of guys taking a ride there. Can't be happy with exactly what happened, but it collected another group. That's 2 big ones that we have experienced so far early on as well. This is lap 53. So to see that, we're scheduled to go 120, so there will be a stage points awarded at the end of lap 60.
6-lap shootout for that.
So yeah, we're going to have a little shootout to make that happen.
We may get a stage caution whether or not they want it.
Case of Beer still down in the pits.
I will say, though, Mean Gene, I want to shout out Jose Benzino for that great strategy. One of those guys, he's in the points right now. I'm sorry, in the playoffs on points, but we have seen so many winners. Those points are everything. That is a great way to protect this and get some stage points, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Jose, he is the driver of that 54 Toyota, so seeing him running up front, trying to get him. Here we go. We're going to go green. Daniel Smith. He's the control car on the inside. Great jump by Daniel. He's going to get about a 3-card lead. You can see on the outside Andrew Bolander, who he works so well with. Here comes Medina. Behind them, you can see Kyle Lynott and Sean Walton making his way back up. That's your top 5. A little bit too big of a jump, I think, but the Pennzoil buddies hook up. Lynott 3rd. Winfield 4th, and here goes Lynott down low. He's trying to take a peek, looking to lead a lap here tonight.
Kyle Lynott
to stick it up top. Yeah, he wants one, but not yet.
He's
Daniel Smith's going to lead.
Don't blow your engine, Sean, please.
Yeah, he'll make you blow an engine. Here he goes again. He's down below looking for some friends. Sean Walton choosing to stay up, and it's going to be Steve Lewis coming into the picture to start pushing Justin Parham and Jared Kelly. Kelly looks to go 3 wide, pushes it up into that outside row, but we are 3 wide now with Brandon Guerin, the number 3 of Nick Mazza on the outside, and inside you can see the 57 of Brandon Guerin. This is a wild show.
I heard a crash, and I'm going to double check to make sure nothing too bad. Okay, we're good. Let's go back live, me and Gene. Sorry about that.
They're
But yeah,
still rolling.
We got a wild show up here up front. And I will say, those two Pennzoil cars, we've been jokingly calling them a team, but they sure as hell look like one right now. And they're getting very comfortable together. Those pushes that Bollinger are giving that 31 car are aggressive pushes, me and Gene. They are very assertive. And that 31's eating them right up. And that's how you protect the lead the way they are right now. That team, I think we should just legitimately start calling them one, working fantastically together now. As you now have Lynott and Lewis. Oh, Lewis looking to bail out a little bit. Tons of disorganization there on the bottom. Uh-oh. Woo, that was a close one.
Yeah, inside got a little bit wild. Lewis was forced down under the apron. Look at now the three cars, the three yellow cars, Walton, Bolander, and Daniel Smith, now pushing down to the inside. Bollinger fourth, Kyle Lynott fifth. So lots of jockeying here. Outside lane now being led by the three of Mazza, trying to get a push from Redinger and Mata. Here we go with the similar sounding names.
I know, right? It's like we just don't get a break between Bolander and Bollinger and Mata and Mazda. What do we do to deserve this? But anyway,
18 cars on the lead lap still.
They're lucky they're all so good. But what I'm seeing here, me and Gene, and we'll see if we are able to observe it again on this lap, these guys are getting squirrely as heck on the exit of 2. We haven't seen that all day, but we do know they're on the oldest tires they've been all day. So maybe tires are starting to matter quite a bit. They are just race cars, so tires not super important, like you said. But man, these are becoming very big moments, I would say, on the exits of these corners, especially weirdly on the inside.
Yeah, you want to be able to hug that apron periodically and then just groove up. I've run this track, and you love that to kind of get that outside in through the center and then power out, and taking that away. Yeah, and now that's being taken away, and there's no diamonding this stuff when you're in a big group like this, so it becomes difficult because nobody wants to let off the gas.
This is the stage lap here, me and Gene. Here we go. Daniel Smith looking to capture, I believe, what would be his second stage of the season. Smith is really just always seems to be here at this stage in the race, especially. And here we go. It's going to be Smith, Bolander, Walton, Mazza, and Bollinger. Congratulations to those 5 drivers.
Hey, Kenneth Redinger going to take 6. Kyle Lynott, Steve Lewis, Hunter Hall, Justin Parham. That is the top 10 there on lap number 60. And looks like Hunter Hall.
Swingle in front of them? It is Swingle in front of them.
Is it? Oh, he don't want to be lapped, but he might not have a choice. Michael Motta in that lead group. And then after them, you can see Kevin Kyle.
Swingle ducks below the apron. And
smart man.
We saw what happened last time. It really does seem to normally cause it. Wow, what a move by Lynott. But it does seem to cause situations. So Swingle right there wanted none of it, going below the apron. But what you do see that cause, me and Gene, is you saw iRacing kind of be assertive there. Last time he was getting lapped, but he kept the draft. Swingle, no hope there. And look at in the middle of this pack. Oh my goodness, these boys are going for it. Haul into the wall.
Next lap car is going to be Kevin Kyle. He's half a track ahead of these guys, holding on, hoping to be able to come in and do a little bit more repair if it comes to that, if another caution happens. Meanwhile, up front, Pennzoil still looking good. Daniel Smith, Andrew Bolander, they don't have the MC Motorsports guys challenging him anymore. Bobby Dodson has fallen back into 11. Michael Mata a lap down in 20th, and Jonathan Quesabir also lap down, running in 23rd, clearly off the pace. So this race would appear to be Pennzoil's for the taking, unless some other teams can line it up and start to throw down. This race became a lot less competitive once those MC Motorsports guys were out. You can see Mata leading that outside lane, but again, he is a lap down. We've seen him wreck a field, though, lap down, running in a lead pack, so it could still be exciting.
I guess
Where was that, Indy?
I don't know. I'm not gonna be mean.
I'm not mean. It's exciting.
But here we go. On board here with Parham through the front stretch here, and look at how much you have to turn that wheel. Parham doing the smart thing there and preparing ahead, as he really, you have to. If you don't do that, me and Gene, you can have to turn the wheel so dramatically to where it gets very, very loose there. And man, just look how little you can see if you're in the middle of this pack. It's not even really too wide racing yet. You can already see it, and they are getting closer to a lap car in front of them. I think that actually might be. Is that Vulpes in front of them?
No, Vulpes is still in that lead group.
Okay,
but
my apologies.
I want to say it might be. I thought Kevin Kyle was the next guy that they would be running.
You're right.
down,
There
but-
is Volpus, and I believe it may be. I don't know why it looked blue to me for some reason. My color blindness really just coming out on 4K here.
All right, so here we go. I hear
Medina
Lewis
ducks
and
out.
Medina coming in.
Yep. And you have to enter there. I forgot about that, Mean Gene. So let's follow Medina through here, actually, or Lewis. So you right here. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do what he just did. You have to stay below that white line. That may be a penalty for that 88. So right here, you can go any speed you want, Mean Gene. Once you get to those cones right there, that's where you have to hit the pit road speed, which I believe is 45, which is painfully slow for a play track. But you do have to enter pit lane.
Ooh, excitement up front. Daniel
here we go.
Smith shoots Bolander. Looks like he's going to come into the pits.
Yeah, Bolander as well coming into the pits. And so there you go, Mean Gene. You can kind of Tokyo drift it through here at 110, but once you get to those cones, you do have to bring it down to speed. Oh my goodness, look behind, look in front of them. Look at this, 3 wide, Mata in the middle, Lanat up top, and Case of Beer on the bottom.
Nick Mazza also making a middle row. Got Tony Iverson behind him in the middle. And then now here comes Kyle Lanat, lead car on the outside, inside row, definitely costing speed to those outside. And that's going to let the 31 of Daniel Smith get a push. Got Sean Walton behind him,
Bryson.
but we are 3 wide here at Atlanta.
Dodson touches the wall twice there. First on there, he kind of grazed it, and there he got a nice little smack. It just goes to show how hard it is to run 3 wide here, Mean Gene. Like I said earlier in this race, it normally doesn't last long, whether it be a wreck or just these guys saying, never mind, forget that.
Andrew Bolander is missing at the front. That's because he went down and pitted. He's back out now after a 14.8 second pit stop. That sounds like tires under green.
Yes, it
Hopefully
does.
this thing will go green for him to continue staying up with those front runners. More people calling for pits soon. Look at Michael Mata pushing the heck out of Case of Beer. He might
Watch
not
out,
be
Kyle.
on the lead lap.
Kyle to the
but he has
middle.
got it going on.
Lanat shoots the gap underneath.
Oh, it's scary.
Oh, man, underneath Case of Beer and Mata. Oh, my goodness. Look at these guys coming together on exit. Lanat kind of pinballing in between Bollinger and Mata. And there goes Case of Beer there on the top as well. Owens pushing the knot, saying, let's make this middle line work, my friend. Here we go. This is some intense racing. As you see Brower shoot to the bottom there as well. Iverson trying to help his teammates make that middle line work.
3 cars up front, single file behind them. It's 3 wide madness. Justin Parham finally going to cut through that insanity as well. 4 cars ahead into the wall. Case of Beer and Mata once again. They're still rolling though. 3 wide. Kyle Lanat stuck in the middle. After that lead group, looks like Steve Lewis is about to get eaten alive, but he doesn't know is that they're 3
Where does he
wide
go?
shooting him down.
Where does he
Case
go?
of Beer and Mata about to hit him coming through. Single file up front though, so maybe it'll narrow out like a funnel, and Lewis will not be a victim. Right now, only 15 cars on the lead lap because of pit strategy, waiting for some more pits to come through, but up front, finally, it's 2 wide again. That was some exciting nonsense.
I would have loved to have had a heart pressure monitor on Steve Lewis during that one. Like, oh my goodness. Looking behind him and saying, guys, please figure this out. Oh my goodness, I should have just gone below the apron. Oh no. But they did figure it out. Props to everybody in this field because these guys are going for it right now. They are putting on a show as Walton looking to the outside of Smith for just a second there. I think what Walton wanted to see is anyone going to follow me? No? Okay. I guess I'll go back to the bottom. But I do think right when that Lanat group catches him, you're going to see Walton shoot up. Does he, or does he content on the bottom? It's too late now. Here comes Kyle Lanat on that top lane.
John Walton, he has been trying his best to stay on the straight and narrow after some early season shenanigans. Got him put on the hot seat, got him a penalty, a drive-through. So he definitely does not want any more static from other drivers or MRL officials. He's chosen to stay in line all day today. That's that 23. Currently the second car on that bottom row. Outside lane, though, looking wild as Mata and Bobby Dodson choosing to abandon the 3 of Nick Mazza.
Oh, in the wall,
Up into
Mata
the
and
wall
Dodson.
Again. That looked like an overcorrection of by Bobby Dodson as he saw the 3 start to wiggle. Up front, though, look at that. Kyle Lanat finally finding his way up into the front behind the steam of Owens and Iverson. Sean Walton still following in line, 4th car. He lets the 31 back in And now they are 5 deep single file before it gets double wide behind them with the 3 of Mazza and the 53 of Bollinger. They are in 6th and 7th. I got to be waiting for this front group to get into the pits eventually, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm a little bit. I will say that I've been meaning to touch on this. The action on the track has just been too crazy, but I don't understand why Bollinger took tires there, Mean Gene. That is, to me, the only reason you do that is by assuming this race is going to stay green, and I do not think that's happening. I mean, look at what's going on here, and you were just in that pack, so I don't know why you'd assume that would happen. I would just probably make that pit stop as short as I could and just make sure I don't go a lap down, but that's neither here nor there at this point. If these guys do come into pit, Mean Gene, which I agree with you, it's about that time. Based on looking at most of the data we have available to us, make it as short as possible. Take fuel only. These guys are just going absolutely crazy. I can't believe we still have around 50 to go in this thing, because you would not think that based on the way they're racing each other. It's been just wild. And one more thing that I just can't stop seeing, Mean Gene. I know we normally put our normal bananas like we always do on the track, but I don't remember installing any magnets on that outside wall. Do you?
No, but it's pulling those MC Motorsports guys in. Maybe it's just the way that they've set up their car. Those guys on the same team, they might be a little bit looser than they normally run, trying to find a little bit extra speed. Lead group now still led by Lynott, slowly catching up on that first group of cars a lap down. That's Bolander, Kyle, and
Here we go.
Medina. They are going to be catching them real fast. Is it pit action time? And it is. There goes Lynott, Smith, Iverson, and Sean Walton. Owens choosing to stay out with Justin Parham, and then they're 2 wide behind him. Really crazy. Hey,
whoa,
Kevin Bauer
careful, boys.
back up in the front.
Wow.
Ooh, we got tight down there in the pits.
Yeah, we got some greed over there, and I love to see it. That was good. That was professional, and no harm, no foul. It was fun to watch. So I think with that, and these guys seeing that, it won't be long until you see the rest of the field wanting to do that. But one thing about that pit entry, Mean Gene, I think without having to use that stupid inside lane that they make us use in real life, it makes a ton of sense. In iRacing, it makes none. I think you could stay in the lead lap, but with that, no, not going to happen. So I also would understand being inclined to try to stretch that tank of fuel as long as you can and keep those guys trapped a lap down.
Yeah, that's definitely a signature move by David Owens, current race leader. We've seen him stay out with only 6 laps of fuel before, taking a chance to keep folks a lap down. It paid off one race. I saw him do it. It didn't another. But then he had a buddy of his stay out from Gold Coast Racing who also didn't have a full tank. That second caution.
Oh, no, Dodson.
Woo! That was exciting. Nick Mazza into the lead. He says, I don't care what kind of track it is. That's that black 3 on the outside. But he's got that pressure. Look at the momentum Owens has down on the bottom, getting that push from Parham, bringing it around the backside. Can Mazza get back up there and maybe lead him a lap?
Mean Gene, I cannot stop looking at that 32 car of Bryson Dodson. That guy always sticks out on these plate tracks as one of the elite, one of the top, absolute best, always up front. But man, one thing I don't normally see from him is just all these big moments. He's getting loose on nearly every push that he gets delivered to him. He gets loose mid-corner. These are not things I'm used to seeing from the 32, and what I think it is, Mean Gene, if it's anything, because the last thing I generally do think it is that driver in that race car. I think those wall hits may be catching up to that 32 car, and that thing is a little bit aero damaged and a little bit more unpredictable than he likes.
Well, and another thing that we have to worry about is those incident points. At some point, they could come back to haunt him. Remember at Talladega, Bobby won, and then incident points and a penalty came along, and he lost that victory to the 47 of Zach Engel. So we might be seeing an adjustment on the car that needs to be addressed by these MC guys. And there's Bobby again with the Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
Kind of backs him up a little bit. MC Motorsports guys are back together. You can see on that outside row, but getting loose like that splits them back up and forces them to the back of the pack. David Owens leading this group. Justin Parham, Kenneth Redinger behind him. Kevin Brower looks to the outside. Let's see if he can pick up friends as Nick Mazza and that 32 of Dodson's outside. I would get ahead of whatever lead car from MC Motorsports is, because you know those other two are going to line up relatively quickly.
Yeah, I totally agree, Mean Gene. And what I'm trying to do, we're on board with Bryson Dodson right now and just trying to see what he's doing within that race car. So far, so good. But one thing that's not happening is any forward progress. If you look to the inside of our screen right now, that inside lane is just absolutely hooked up while that top lane is not. It looks like they're catching Richard Swingle, who is a lapped car, and you can just see how quickly these things can happen here. Actually, that maybe Jack's the ball. I apologize. I don't know. That is the ball. Yeah, that is Duvall as they've caught him. And Mean Gene, you know one thing that we've never done here, but I feel like this is the right track and the right moment?
Ooh.
Let's crank it up for about a minute. And it's not because this is boring like they do in real life. It's just because let's just do it, right? Let's have some fun.
All right. Let's see what happens.
We'll talk to you guys. I mean, honestly, me trying to do something new, we're probably going to create a wreck here, but let's have some fun.
For a minute. Good thing I'm wearing my brown pants.
Mean Gene, that was pretty cool. And one thing I did.
Like the camera.
Oh, thank you, thank you. One thing I did do during that is I turned on my iRacing audio, just like they do in real life, so I could hear what was happening on the radio. And one thing I did here that I think just goes to show that while you see this single file action, you think, oh, this is boring, this is easy. I had one of the guys say, I'm glad I'm wearing my brown pants today. So that only goes to show how big moments can still be in these single file lanes.
Yeah, Jose Medina said that his VR goggles froze up.
Oh, that's fun.
And then Kyle Lynott was like, glad I wore my brown pants.
Oh, that was Lynott? That's hilarious.
And here comes some more lapping going on.
And that
this
is
is
Medina.
a long run. Yeah, Medina falling victim now as his goggles fogged up and he lost his little group of friends. Up ahead of them, though, you can see the 13 of Iverson and the 23 of Sean Walton. They're about to get picked up by that group of 4, Bolander, Kyle, Smith, and Lynott. But
have you
Kyle on a different pit strategy than those guys.
Have you ever VR'd for sim racing, Mean Gene?
I have not.
It is, so I have an Oculus, and I used to do that when I started my iRacing journey. I was a VR guy. It's so cool. It feels so real, but it wasn't worth it to me, especially on these longer races that could take, about an hour and a half to complete. I'm not even kidding, Mean Gene. If you adjust yourself in your seat, if your butt gets sore, you know what I mean, and you just do that little readjustment, that could be enough to make your VR freak out. I've lost too many races because of that thing. So until just a little VR rant real quick, until they get the technology to truly make it like very reliable and understand, like I'm doing a sim racing thing here. Give me my little bubble and don't reset when I adjust a little bit. Yeah, to me, it just isn't worth the immersion, as cool as it is.
Ooh, Iverson and Sean Walton getting together just a little bit. So that group of 4. Oh, and Walton gets into the back of Iverson. Iverson into the inside wall. That's got to pull out a caution.
Oh man, so far so. Oh, and there it is. Good call, Mean Gene. What happened there? So, what was this?
It was the 23 of Walton trying to push Iverson to keep up with that group of 4, and I don't see.
Whoa. That first one was certainly Walton's fault. That second one wasn't.
Looked like a miscalculation.
That was. I don't know what happened here afterwards. I mean, that's not Sean Walton's fault.
Yep, I think that was just a miscalculation.
I mean,
Walton apologizing on the radio.
Is he? Okay, that's interesting to me. I'm gonna run on board with Walton and just see what that looked like for him. Here we go. Actually, I don't even think this is the right
Kevin Kyle coming pit under caution. Good for him.
I apologize. That's not even the right crash. Here we go. Actually, it was. Okay. So he gets... Oh, he got a bad push from Iverson. Oh, this is Iverson. I think it's just one of those things, Mean Gene. Yeah, we'll move on from that one. No harm, no foul. Well, harm for sure. And everyone in the pits, Mean Gene.
All right, so even though Iverson involved in the wreck, iRacing is going to give him the wave around, and away he goes. That should allow the 23 to get back on the lead lap. Lead cars are finally going to come in, and it makes you wonder about those guys that ran an additional 15 laps, what decision they're going to make as far as tires go. It looks like around 18 laps, 20 laps of green flag racing, it becomes very difficult to stay on that bottom line. So we'll have to find out exactly who wants to risk it with those older tires. Outside lane does work as long as you have teammates that'll stay with you. 97 of Swingle now coming back down into the pits. Swingle does find himself a lap down. So maybe this is just some maintenance, little bit of repair. He was involved in some earlier accidents. Waiting to see, though, up front, you can see Parham, Bobby Dodson. That is the two cars being credited with being in the lead at the moment. Jared Kelly, Kenneth Redinger being shown third and fourth. There are some lap cars. There are cars that are still on the lead lap ahead of our leaders, waiting to see if they are going to get waved around. Yep, the 97 of Swingle still down, and you can see him taking tires now. There's Sean Walton bringing it down quickly as well. Well, he went in the wrong pit, brought it back out, and now finally settles into his pit. So a little bit of shenanigans down on pit road. We are on lap 95. We're going to 120. Cannot wait to see exactly how this thing stacks up front. So up front, we can see the pace car has its lights off. Being shown in the lead is Justin Parham. Parham is on the inside lane. Outside of him, Bobby Dodson. That's your front row. Jared Kelly, Kenneth Redinger, 3 and 4. David Owens, Jax Duvall, 5 and 6. Brandon Garand is running outside the fourth row, and Nick Mazza, Joe Volpus, Kevin Brower, KB running in 10th. Getting ready to go green again here.
Only 12
after that last incident.
Only 12 cars in the lead lap, and all of them on fresh tires, Mean Gene. Outside of the lead lap, really no fresh tires. So if we do see action, it may be there. As here we go.
All right, the pace car is coming off. Justin Parham, control car on the inside. That is the black
Green flag,
19.
green flag.
Gets that bump, and away he goes.
Parham finding his way up front early, Mean Gene, and we've seen so many just absolute dominant restarts from the lead car today. Parham not quite as far ahead as we saw like the 31 as Smith do today, and look how much better that's going to fare for him as Dodson able to link up perfectly. Whoa, but gets a little
he needs to be worried. Bobby Dodson's got that heavy bumper. Already caused a couple of spins. We'll have to see what happens. Jared Kelly making his way in. He's in that 55. He's running third. Kenneth Redinger, David Owens, just a little bit behind them. And then you can see Jax Duvall as well. A lot of wiggling right now. Nobody is staying straight. And that's allowing the other cars to kind of form up. Outside lane forming now, led by Duvall and the 3 of Mazda. There's Kevin Brower trying to get involved.
There goes Dodson.
Up front, you can see Parham, but now Bobby Dodson's going to shoot up high. Nobody goes with him. Jared Kelly staying low. Here comes the 84.
3 wide.
Duvall, but he bails on Dodson, goes up high, and Justin Parham's going to come around the quad oval to lead him a lap.
And look how look how badly that worked out for Dodson. Jack's just saying, okay, cool, that was cute that you went to the top lane, but that's not the lane I want. I want to go 3 wide, and that worked out for him. And one guy I don't think we've talked enough about today, Mean Gene, is that 55 of Jared Kelly. We see him so often on Sundays at BRL, one of the dominant drivers in that series. It's just an absolute mastermind behind the wheel. This dude is good anywhere, and that includes plate tracks. No surprise to see him on this one-off here in the MRL up front, pushing Justin Parham with Redinger. We got some cool names up front, guys that we got excited about when we were gridding up today. Have found their way up front. And man, Mean Gene, the biggest thing I have my eye on right now with 22 to go is who is going to really try to make that outside lane work.
Yeah, you got to have friends. I think that's why we saw Sabir, Mata, and Dodson make it work, because the three of them would just stay together. No longer are those three contenders, so we don't see that outside lane working. We also saw the two Pennzoil cars,
There goes
along with
Kelly.
the assistance of Sean Walton, make it work, but they disappeared. Kelly looking to go. Owens pretends
Yellows
he's gonna go
yellows
with him.
out. Daniel Smith
there's a
apparently with an incident here. Let's take a look. This was the lane behind, or the little group behind them. Smith, Walton up front. Oh no, the Pennzoil.
Medina.
The Pennzoil. I blame Pennzoil. I blame black and yellow cars, me and Gene. Oh no. If only they had not driven, and listen to me and Gene, everybody, just not even entertain this in the slightest. If these were not Pennzoil schemes, if they did not resemble Joe Logano, I don't see this accident happening.
Oh, look at that. Look at Medina in there, too. That's no bueno. Is that Hunter Hall as well? Ooh.
And I think what caused that,
It was
me
all
and
the
Gene,
yellow cars. It was the yellow cars.
I always tell you this, me and Gene, and we're going to take a closer look at a different angle here. No, rule number one, especially when you're just in these like behind groups, you know, you're just trying to make lap times. Don't push the pusher. Let's take a look at the 54 here. So here we got the first three, and I think there will be a little bit of checkup as they go through the tri-oval. I told you that'd be a problem area, but here comes Medina. Head of steam. Big bump to the 31 right there. And I think this is what's
look at Walton's tail end go up.
Just a big accordion effect. The 31, or I'm sorry, the 54, not fully acknowledging it with being the fourth car in the group. Easier said than done. Hunter Hall, I mean, this guy. There's magnets we don't know about on that 12 car and on the outside wall, because geez, he's been in the middle of everything. And yeah, I mean, obviously no malicious intent by that 54. That group trying to work together to keep pace, but like we talked about with the brown pants situation with Lynott, it's easier said than done, me and Gene.
Ooh. So all those yellow cars got together. Medina came in a little bit hot, and that got him sideways, making contact in the corner. Don't push the pushers.
Or don't push the pusher's pusher, because that was the fourth car in the row, for being honest.
That was a hell of a combo shot.
It was.
If
I think
you're playing
in certain
pool,
video games,
you gotta call that.
Certain games you get bonus
All right.
points for that.
All right, so let's look at the leader board. Looks like Kevin Kyle is finally going to get back on the lead lap. That would put 13 cars on the lead lap. Kevin Kyle currently in the pits, getting a little bit of fuel. You know, he's happy. He's been a lap down most of the day, so got to be thrilled. Hopefully that car is repaired. He has taken 4 fresh ones, so Kyle going to be as ready as he can. But how about this? Justin Parham being shown as the leader, up 21 spots. Jared Kelly running second, up 22 spots. And Kenneth Rediger running 3, up 20 spots.
Yeah, these are all the guys who chose not to qualify. I've brought it up so many times that's all normally my strategy. It is. I mean, look at our points leader. I mean, he's not having a great day today, Colin Bullinger. He never qualifies, and he finds himself up front. As we go through our field a little bit more, 4th place, David Owens. If he told me, he said one thing about today before this race, me and Gene, it was one word, and it was aggression. Ruthless aggression,
true.
as John Cena would say.
It's true. He thinks he's I was about to say, he thinks he's a
Yeah, what do you bring
cartoon character.
What do you bring to this company, me and Gene? Ruthless aggression. Then we got Jax Duvall on the inside, and then look at it. Talk about recoveries. Brandon Guerin, great job by him. He was in some of our earlier incidents, and now here he is in 6th place on the outside lane with a chance to win this thing. And I'm being honest, me and Gene, and I like how you brought up Lynott there. I actually still am seeing Lynott 1 lap down. I think that will probably fix next time around. The worst thing about the situation for that 988 is he's the lucky dog, and that's why he took those tires. That's a nice thing about being the lucky dog versus the wave around. But what that also means, me and Gene, we only got 12 of these things in the lead lap, and he gets to start behind everybody a lap down.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Oh, super fun. Especially at
Gonna have
tracks
to
like
make
this.
his way. Well, hopefully he'll make use of that outside or maybe the inside with the fresh tires.
Keep your
and
eye on that
hook up with
988.
somebody fast. All right, so Justin Parham up front. He is your control car.
And
Running on the inside. He's in that red and blue car. I got to remember
Kelly
that that's
on
what
the
he looks
outside.
like.
I know. The car might not look pretty, but the driving sure does.
All right, pace car is off the track, waiting to see as they come around to the Geico restart zone. And there's your restart. Good start by Parham.
Great job by
He's
Kelly.
going to go so fast, he's going to bring Redinger with him. Redinger, Kelly. side by side. You can see David Owens behind him, Brandon Guerin, slight drop back after that to some other drivers. Good start by Parham as he is going to find himself hopefully not too far outside, but look at the outside
Duvall
lane.
on the inside too. Watch out for Duvall. Big head of steam here. Slows it down. Not wanting to get Parham that big bump just yet. And then outside lane seeming to work in. Look who dives to the bottom. Brandon Guerin to the bottom, looking to take the lead of this race. And Volpes follows him.
And he's got help from Joe Volpes. Volpes about to get sideways with two other cars. They managed to hold it. There's just too many black cars. I got to send a memo out to these boys.
Parham went from the control car to 7th in 1 lap.
Yeah, that's what happens. He didn't have the right color car. They didn't, or there was too many black cars, and they didn't know he was their friend. Jared Kelly now making use of the outside lane, getting a push from David Owens on the inside. Brandon Guerin. Brandon
yells out.
Contact in the
Big
back.
contact in the back. I see
That's
Lynott
Kyle Lynott spinning.
See Lynott and Beverly, me and Gene. And here we go. Let's take a look at this replay here. And what did we talk about right before we went green, me and Gene? What does he have to do? He has to work through, and this is no disrespect to any of these guys, but the squirrels. And if you're a lap down, including our points leader, you're officially a squirrel in the situation. And let's see what happens to Lynott here as he tries to shoot the middle. We said he'd be fun to watch, and this is what we were talking about. That hole is not open. Ooh, I see netcode. Let's go back a little bit here, me and Gene.
Yeah, it was aggressive.
No, I don't see netcode. I'm sorry.
I don't think he was clear.
I don't see netcode. I'm sorry. Here it is. Not clear, not clear. And John Belver is saying, you were never clear, so I'm going to finish the... Actually, he's... Oh, that's...
Look at Medina's like, no,
Look at Bev and Lynott inside of each other. They're getting to know each other real well.
Oh, no, and
Kevin Kyle,
well.
God, he's so jealous. Like, have you ever noticed that? Whenever you and I were becoming good friends, me and Gene, Kevin Kyle just always so jealous of our friendship.
Yep, he just wants to show up and be a part of that.
He does.
So, a lot of unfortunateness right there. Leaders making their way around the track. We're on lap 107 of lap 20. This caution brought to you by Chantilly Lace. Chantilly Lace capturing all of your special occasions, whether it's on digital camera or still frames. They can capture all of your big moments, just like they captured this big one that we had here. Kyle Lynott thought he was clear, but turns out that he wasn't, coming right down into John Beverly. I'll tell you who's got to be happy on that one might be Medina, I think, or is it Daniel Smith? We'll have to see who is going to be the lucky dog. Right now, 13 drivers being shown on the lead lap. Remember, 24 started, and to the best of my knowledge, only Tony Iverson has called it a day.
I think Kevin Kyle smartly called it a day, me and Gene, because I was very excited to run on board with him and watch a POV version of his jealousy as Lynott and Beverly got to know each other really well. But he's already built out of here, so I couldn't run on board with him. Boo.
Oh,
Kevin Kyle. Boo.
Let's see here. Maybe I can catch him before he bails.
Still won't get me the action I want.
Because he might still be talking to Jared Kelly.
Jared Kelly, me and Gene, watch out for that 55. I'm glad you brought that name up, actually. First of all, hats off that 57 Brandon Guerin, a very, very talented driver. And what did I say before we went green today, me and Gene? I told you this race, it's the great equalizer, and it's so fun to see guys like Brandon Guerin who are just very, very talented, and it just goes to show how just exceptional the talent in this league is. But when a race like this happens, that kind of equalizes the speed of the cars. You get to see these guys have their moment. And I'm rooting for our friend Brandon a little bit here, man. Excited to see him up here. And then our lead producer over at VRN, Jared Kelly. This guy is a killer, such a good driver. Watch out for him. And then right behind them, Joe Volpes, hungry for a win this season, has yet to get one. And speaking of hungry for a win and sick of it all, David Owens, his teammate or his ex-teammate right behind him, and Justin Parham. We saw him be the control car that last restart, me and Gene. Here he is now in 5th place, which would have been the spot to be at last restart, if we're being honest. So here we go.
All these guys proven that they can lead laps. All of these guys have proven that they can win races. The question is, who's going to put all of that together for this right here. We're playing chess, not checkers, and we're about to go green. Brandon Guerin, he is your control car. He's on the inside. Outside car, Jared Kelly. Look at that jump. Oh, I think he went below the yellow. Looked like Joey Logano. Let's get him a restart. I'm just kidding. Brandon Guerin with a heck of a clean start. Jared Kelly on the outside trying to keep pace. Joe Volpus slowly pulling up. Look at David Owens deciding to go with Jared Kelly instead of his old friend, Joe Volpus. Those guys still not working together. Behind them, you can see Kevin Brower coming into the picture, slamming down Parham in front of Owens. Kelly right there as well. Kelly leading the race. David Owens giving chase. Coming out of 4, it's Jared Kelly, and it's Showboat's time to shine as the Showboat's going to stream across the start-finish line.
That was a curious restart, Mean Gene. Jared Kelly has been on front all day. He has been in the top 5 since the drop of the green flag. Well, really not then, but he didn't qualify, but he's worked his way up, and since then he has not left the front of the field. And I wonder, Mean Gene, if he's seen enough restarts to say, you know what, it does not work out for that leader when he gets off to a good start, so I'm gonna make sure he gets that good start. Because, my goodness, by the time we were at it, too, Jared Kelly was long gone from Guerin, who had what it looked like to be a brilliant restart. So, wow. The first thing you said, or the last thing you said before we went green, Mean Gene, we're playing chess, not checkers, and that could not have been more true there.
Yeah, definitely seeing the opportunity, knowing how the strategy, knowing how this pattern has gone, recognizing it, and making...
Guerin to the top.
Word. That was insane. Guerin went up top, and
He's
it looked
going
like
for
Volpus was a magnet behind him. Here comes Kenneth Redinger now taking over the 3rd position on the inside. So Jared Kelly up front. He's high, he's low, stays low with Owens.
Man.
Outside Guerin. Volpus trying to make it work inside lane with a little bit more attachment, a little bit more momentum, and I think that's going to push Kelly as we're going down that backstretch.
Mean Gene, I'm sad you haven't said it today, was I miss your term crash draft, because that's exactly what that just was between Owens and Jared Kelly. Owens just shipped it in right into the rear end of Kelly right there. Really one of the worst moments you could in the entrance of the corner, but Kelly made it work, and man, Owens, you could tell he wants that lead, and he's going to give Kelly pushes wherever he feels fit, and if Kelly can't handle it, that's on him.
Outside lane, you could see Parham getting into Volpus hard. A couple of scary moments, but Volpus able to hold on to the Dragon and keep it going straight. Outside lane now with amazing momentum.
Oh no! Parham!
Down into Redinger. That's going to pick up
that's
the Goldfish card.
Oh, that's going to Hall, Dodson, Brower, Volpus. I'm sorry, not Volpus. Jax Duvall, and obviously the original car we saw that. One of the guys who I really had pegged to win this thing, Parham, toes to the pits.
Yeah,
wow.
Bobby Dodson going down into the pits. Kevin Brower into the pits. Justin Parham into the pits. Lots of damage there on that big wreck on 114. And that wreck brought to you by Chantilly Lace. Chantilly Lace here to capture all of your still and digital photography needs. When you're having a party, they're there to capture the big one. And that's what we just saw here at Atlanta on lap 114. Chantilly Lace for all your needs. They're going to get a lot of shout-outs the way these boys are driving.
Straight up, and their camera work is doing a great job here. So, Mean Gene, what I saw, and I think I saw the tail end of what actually happened there, I think it's another bad push because I saw that 18 just shoot left. Just absolutely shoot left. So, shoot right. Keep your eye on that, for me, blue and red car of Justin Parham, 3rd in line on the top there with Kevin Brower behind him in the 9. And all of a sudden, Mean Gene, I just saw that 18 car go left. And here comes a side draft from Redinger. Oh, no. That is netcode. That is netcode, but that is also a poor side draft by the 24. And look at that. And the 24 looking in his rearview mirror and just like Urkel saying, did I do that?
Wow. Is that Goldfish on Goldfish Violent? What is that? No, that's Brower.
They're making an energy Goldfish because that's that energy drink sim racing company with Goldfish. So it's kind of like an energy Goldfish, I think. You eat a handful and you can go sim racing, and you're full.
I've had I've heard of the edible goldfish, but I don't know about.
This is a whole different type. This is advanced Goldfish. So here we go in real time, and this will probably, I will say, Mean Gene, going into this, I just picked on the 24 of Redinger a little bit. I think this will probably defend him a little bit, because let's watch this in real time, and let's see just how quickly this can happen. I mean, I know you know what the idea was from that 24 of Redinger. He wanted the side draft, and the netcode caught him. He didn't make contact with the 18, but if I'm the 18, Mean Gene, I don't care. Why'd you throw that side draft?
Yeah.
But on to brighter things. Brandon Guerin still in control of this race.
Thought he wasn't going to make it. And now he's up there in control, driving like he's
And Mean Gene,
the cock of the walk.
we got a legitimately identical restart to last. What did Brandon Guerin learn from what Jared Kelly did to him last time?
Well, that is a good question, because Kelly is a master of these restarts. He learns on everything. Jared also
Just not checkers, baby.
races in real life, so he's got that advantage as well. That doesn't always translate back and forth, but in the case of Kelly and the success that he's had and the times I've raced with him in the other leagues, I say it does.
Yeah.
Jared Kelly on the outside, he will get her done. Now on the inside, how about this? Volpus and Owens side by side. Owens choosing not to push Volpus a couple of times here tonight. So ought to be curious to see how this works out. Third row, Kenneth Redinger and Nick Mazza. Nick Mazza has led lap. All these guys have actually led laps. So they're wanting to get to the front. Bolander, Wingfield, Smith, Duval, Lynott, all in the lead lap. Here we go. Brandon Guerin on the inside. Control car, Jared Kelly. Let's see what he does. There's the restart. They get real tight together. A little bit of side drafting, followed up by some straight pushing. Kelly manages to keep Guerin down. Guerin now getting that push from Volpus. Volpus doors Kelly just a little bit, pushing him higher, I'm sure, than he would like. That's going to cost Guerin a little bit of speed, but now Kelly's speed. But now he's got Owens behind him pushing. Down low, though, you got Volpus and Redinger. And now here come the Pennzoil boys. They're back together. They're the fourth and fifth car on that bottom row. Good speed by that inside. Outside lane needs to get it together. They've got two really fast cars pushing, but it looks like coming across, Guerin's going to lead lap 117.
Only 3 to go, me and Gene. And if you know there's one thing that 57, or really even the 55 wants to see, it's that white flag in 2 laps time. And like you said, that Pennzoil boys like Rachel and Ross, like Jared Kelly and Jason Landry, finding each other no matter what. Look out for them if we see some messiness as we get closer to this white flag. But so far, so good for the 57 of Guerin. That was a brilliant restart by him. That was so good. And this is why he is getting the fruits of his labors right now, me and Gene. Jared Kelly, Brandon Guerin, 2 to go.
Will Owens stay behind Guerin? Will Volpus stay behind, or will Owens stay behind Kelly? Will Volpus stay behind Guerin? And now, they get a little bit loose inside lane. Now it's 3 wide. The Pennzoil boys trying to split the middle. That lets that
huge run by
lane
Kelly
go really fast. Look at Kelly now and Owens. Guerin trying to get it back together.
Here comes the white flag.
Staying with him.
White flag.
It's real now.
It is real as hell, me and G. Next flag ends it, and it's probably going to be the checkered one, as Jared Kelly waited for his moment, and he made it work. He has Owens pushing him, and there's one thing that's not going to happen here. That 11 car is not going to stick with him. He's going to go for it. Around goes the 07 Volpus. Around goes the 31. And Lynott out of this one as well, but we're going to race the checkered flag. Jared Kelly with the lead. Owens pushing him. 57 Guerin behind him, and here we go.
Redinger, Smith out as well. Here we go. Turn 4. Kelly in the lead. It's Owens. Look at the hard charge on the outside, but it's going to be Jared Kelly going to hold on and take his second win in just 2 races that he's had this season. David Owens second. Brandon Guerin, great showing with third. Andrew Bolander fourth. Nick Mazza fifth. Wow, what a crazy finish. And my heart just goes out to Joe Volpus getting spun there at the end. Joe was in the second row, looked like he was going to get her done, but instead comes up short and finds himself in the infield once again. But Jared Kelly, just can't say enough about this guy's restart ability and the way that he cuts through traffic.
Oh, man, Jared Kelly, man, if there's one thing that I know these guys won that win. I know guys like Owens won this win. I know Guerin won it. I know Bolander wanted it, but if there's one thing they should be grateful for is, man, I'm so glad this guy is not full-time, because all he does is win when he comes to the MRL. Jared Kelly has a 100% win percentage in the MRL this season. This dude is him when it comes to this league, and man, he really just comes out here and shows everybody what he's capable of. Jared Kelly's iRacing journey has been one that I think a lot of people can learn from. He's been through multiple teams, his driving style not meshing with many, but his talent shining through to a point that is just absolutely, me and Gene, undeniable. This guy is an unbelievable race car driver, and what makes it even cooler to me about him is he's a real-life race car driver. He is I think a late model or a little late model driver, and he drives that same exact number. And Jared Kelly, man, maybe we can get this guy full-time next season because he's been putting on a show.
Man, he gets that 6 a.m. call time for work, so that might be tough. I think sometimes he's off, sometimes he's not. I mean, it doesn't affect me. I'd like
he makes
to see
fun
him
of us for other stuff, so he can suck it up.
That's true. All right, so who would you like to talk to? We're going to do 4 interviews here, like we usually do.
I'm glad Garen got the podium. Let's. I think it's got to be Daniel Smith today. I think he's the guy. What a run from him, and he was a lot of fun last week as well.
All right, so let's just give a little hunt down and see if we can find Daniel Smith. Looking. Wow, I'm having to go really high looking for this guy, and I just don't see him. I guess his buddies weren't here today, and he just wasn't happy.
You know what? Let's get Bolander up in here. Bolander 4th place.
All right, let's hunt a little bit more. I see him there. Oh, he's with the High Side Hustlers. He's with the Axis of Evil.
Never mind.
Kyle Lynotte's in there with them, too. All right, here's Bolander.
Andrew Bolander, how you doing today, man?
Well, good. I'm all right.
You're as good as you can be, I'm sure. Hey, 4th place is nothing to slouch out. And you're a bonus interview today because, first of all, you've been fun to watch in terms of this playoff battle we have going on. One of our guys who has not yet been able to capture that win, but always up front. And today was no exception. And you were fun to watch all day today. One of the guys who was up and down the field. I know you went through some hardships earlier and were able to recover from. So take me through your day and what was it like out there?
Well, I mean, started 11th and got to the second pretty quickly, and I was just riding around, and I don't know what happened with that big wreck that took out half the leaders, but got a little bit of damage in that much. But then I thought I messed up because I stayed out when everybody else did the next 2 cautions, and after the stage we had like 5 laps of gas left, so I had to come in. I was screwed.
I mean,
but luckily we got some cautions and got back in the race.
You did just remind me of something, Bolander, and I guess I'll spoil this for you now. I did pick on you a little bit today during the broadcast for that. I gotta know, why did you take tires in that green flag pit stop? And I'd love to know what. To me, the reason you do that would be assuming the race was gonna go green, or did I miss something there that made sense to do it, or was the car just that undrivable on the situation you had it in?
Oh, the cars both great. I took tires because it's pretty much the same time as you would without. I mean, as you fill up the whole tank, it's about the same time as taking off our tires.
Wow. Yeah, I guess you're right, because if the tank is bone dry, you're looking at like 9-11 seconds.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh yeah, you're right. So like it's like 1 or 2 to throw on 4 extra. See, actually, okay. That's what I get, me and Gene, for being a truck guy and acting like I know what the hell I'm talking about.
There you go.
Yep. Great drive today, Bolander, and we're rooting for you. I think, with 2 to go, I believe, in this regular season, you're looking pretty for the playoffs. And I think what's so fun about you, especially, is if I was someone else in this field, I would not be excited about the idea of you making the playoffs because you were knocking on that door week in and week out. So great job today. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, the boys back at the shop, my teammates, Colin Bollinger, Daniel Plant Smith, Rayshawn Walton, and all of them people.
It is a Pennzoil Alliance. We were on to something, Mean
knew it.
Gene. It is a Pennzoil Alliance.
Cars. And with Walton, it was the yellow cars.
Bolander, I'll give you a free t-shirt to stop running Pennzoil schemes. So Mean Gene has
No,
less to talk
don't
about.
do it. Don't do it.
We'll see.
Much love, my friend. Great job today.
Thank you.
Wow, so you were onto something. It was. They actually were a team.
You were
could
onto
kinda
something,
tell
Mean
by
Gene.
the way. Well, the way that they were running and just kind of sticking it together, you had to wonder exactly. It couldn't be coincidence. I wish we could have seen the MC Motorsports continue to give them a challenge, but It just was not to be today. But you know what was to be? And that was a podium finish by the number 57 Ford of Brandon Guerin.
Brandon!
Guerin, are you there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is. I'll tell you what, I saw in Discord you thought you might not make it. I bet you're glad you did now.
I really wanted that W to punch my ticket to the playoffs, but yeah, third place, I can deal with that. Car ran great today.
I'll tell you what, we were looking at that last restart when y'all just, before that last green flag run, Jared Kelly on the outside. Jared had already kind of abused the other people on the inside on a restart. Were you wary of him, or did you just drop the hammer and just pray?
Well, that second to last restart, I had some sort of glitch, and I was going 55 right before the start, and then it glitched and brought me down to 50. So there was like that weird, I pulled out in front of everybody, and that's what kind of ruined my momentum on that. And for the last restart, I mean, it was kind of the same thing. I pulled myself out a little too far in front of Joe.
That was a gorgeous
I wasn't.
restart, Brandon. That was a gorgeous restart.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about Jared. He's raced me clean in the past, and David Owens has raced me clean in the past. So I was just hoping to get one on them,
Well, you have enough races that you would qualify for the postseason. I'm looking at an updated standing. You did move up 2 more spots into 17th, but there is a little gap between you and Sean Walton of about 27 points. So
Yeah.
you're kind of in a I better win situation. But hey, you know what? Next week is Dover, and that'll be another crazy race. How do you like that track?
Oh, I love the track. Can't say that I'm too great there, but it's one of my favorite tracks.
Sounds like most girls I'd like to date. I love them, but they don't love me. So I can appreciate that totally. Hey, I tell you what, that outside wall, it looked like it just got closer and closer and closer for a lot of these cars. Do you think guys were just running looser, or was the tires making folks go high? What do you think was the contributing factor to so many people having contact with that outside wall today?
Well, I did hear quite a few people in the chat that I was in saying they were loose coming out of 2, and I know there was a couple aggressive guys out there that took that third lane up top. So it was, I don't know, once it grabbed you, it kind of grabbed you and kept you there for a second. So I mean, I didn't go up there.
No, and that would explain why you're on the podium and they're in pit road and have left Discord already.
Right.
That's a
Really
smart man
exciting
right
out there. But we did see a lot of times what it did was it opened up the middle, and then some folks, especially that Pennzoil team, choosing to go 3 wide and cause some havoc. But you managed to make your way through the confusion, through the mayhem, and pull it your way to that 3rd place finish. Anybody you want to give a shout out to here tonight, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give a shout out to Volpez. He was there with me at the end to try and help me out. It's a shame that he got spun by I don't even know who.
You're
I'll
gonna
have
go
to
visit
watch.
him in the infield care center?
Yeah, I'll go see him.
Okay.
Oh, me? I mean, okay. Plugged. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I'm not that guy. Sorry.
Our producer's over here encouraging him in his ear to plug one of our sponsors, Chantilly Lace. Yeah, Chantilly Lace, always taking pictures of all of the excitement here on the track and off.
And
for your
videos. Man,
wedding and bar mitzvah needs. You could get a video of all of your happy and memorable moments by Chantilly Lace.
Yes, sir.
Well, heck of a great day. I'm glad you made it and put on an exciting show. I was pulling for you there at the end, especially when you had Volpez pushing you. You know, he is the one of the members of Gulf Coast that will stick behind you when times get tough. But once he was gone, you were just kind of a casualty of that. Good run, though. You got to be happy. And next week at Dover, give him hell, bud. Punch your way and get you that Willy Wonka golden ticket.
Awesome run.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna try. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
guys.
sir. That's Brandon Guerin, the pilot of the number 57. All right, so I think, Zach, that's going to bring us to another member of Gulf Coast Racing. I think you got David Owens in second.
Yeah, you stuck me with this guy, didn't you, me and Gene? Let me unmute him real quick.
You're lucky. You're just lucky.
Oh yeah, I'm so lucky. All right, let me hit that unmute button. David Owens, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm peachy. How are you? Stop muting me.
Me and Gene, mute him. Just kidding.
I don't have the power.
All right, Mr. Aggression. You said going into this race today that, I mean, the one word to describe David Owens today was going to be aggression. But I will say, Owens, I just saw, to be honest, and maybe this is what you want to hear today, I saw some classiness out of you today. Great driving. I was surprised you didn't make the move. I mean, again, what do I know? So I guess my first question to you is, was the move in your mind available to you coming to the checkered flag there? Or was it just, you just can't get those runs at Atlanta and that top line wasn't formed up the way you needed to?
Yeah, once they raked behind us, it was just over with. Of P2 was kind of where it was going to stay because you got nobody behind to help build that run. So it is what it is. And I was okay with finishing second. I got to win. I'm in the playoffs. So I take the chance of, try to go for the win, get a block, and both of us wreck. So I was happy finishing P2. I'd love to have the win, but other than that, I had a fun race. I think early in the race though, had to use that fast repair because I don't know, people throwing blocks on lap 32. So
yeah,
it is what it is. So
that first quarter, 1/3 of the race was borderline maybe crazier than the end of the race. It was a lot going on there. But I think you bring up an really fascinating point about you specifically, David. And I didn't forget that I guess I may have forgotten because it's been so early in the race that you did actually, I'm sorry, it was so early in the season that you did win a race this year, because it takes me back to last year when at this point you didn't have that win yet. And one of, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm sure you will, our all-time winningest racer in MRL history, correct? Was
not sure, to be honest.
Well, I'll put I'll do my second. I'll put my paycheck on it. I'm sure it's Owens. This year, we're seeing also with that, that win already locked in. Has that changed your approach at all? Being more content with the second place than you would have been last season? I'm sorry. You still found your way to the championship race one way or the other. But how has your approach been different this year, getting that win so early versus last year, where, I mean, let's be frank, you could never take it for granted, right, until you're actually in the playoffs.
Exactly. With the win early, it lets the race, it more or less lets the race come to me instead of me having to go after the race. So it makes everything a little bit more comfortable. So I don't have to, figure out the strategy right off the bat, like, hey, I need to do this, this, or this. So it just lets the race come to me and I can make my decision as we go instead of, well, I got to do this for this to happen. So it takes a lot of pressure off of things.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, I always just say it kind of feels like house money, right? You're at the casino and someone gives you $100 and doesn't make a difference if you come back home with it or not. But what happens if you can turn that into 1,000?
Exactly.
Awesome to watch you, Owens. And today you delivered. And what's also so cool about you is you'll say it's going to be aggression, and the way you display that aggression oftentimes is just super entertaining racing. So hats off to you. We only pick on you because you're such an awesome race car driver and you can handle it. So I got one more question for you, and while you answer it, give me your shout-outs as well. But I know how much you love Dover. So how you feeling about next week? And give me your shout-outs.
I mean, going for the win. What else is there to do? So, like you said, it's house money, and you got Dover Downs right there, so why not? So we're going to do that, and give a shout-out to everybody that helps put this league on, Joe, John, Steve, everybody that helps with MRL, and everybody else that just participates in it, all the drivers. We wouldn't have any of these nights if it wasn't for them. You and Jerry up here in the booth, so shouts out to y'all. And use your government name.
There ain't nobody up here by that name.
Never heard of him.
Then the shout out there to Jared, working with Jared there, and I believe I know Tony didn't really finish the race real well, have the finish, but he did help me get back up to the top there at one point, even though he was a lap or two down. So shout out to the teammates that do get to help. So I appreciate it.
It's been fun watching you guys work together, and if anything that your guys' team shows is just how good this league continues to get. Because we thought you guys would just put on a clinic, and I mean, to be fair, you still are, but man, it just goes to show how much talent is in this league. Thank you so much, David Owens. Thank you for being here week in, week out, putting on a show, being one of the staples of this league. Congratulations on that second place, and we will definitely see you in the playoffs, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see you race for a championship like you always are.
I appreciate it, boys. Y'all have a good one.
You as well, man. Well, me and Gene, I'm excited to get to know this guy. I've never met this guy before. Jared I hope I'm saying this right. Jared Kelly. Let's go ahead and get to know this guy.
I tell you what, you know him, you love him, you hate him, but one thing you can't do is deny him victory lane. It's the showboat, Jared Kelly. Jared, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Man, we put on a show today.
Oh,
that was awesome.
Pumped. He's pumped, Mean Gene.
I mean, think about how much excitement we saw, all that jockeying. Jared, there just seemed to be something about you on a restart. Did you unlock the code? What was happening there every time?
Yeah, man, we figured it out there on the top lane. We had some help behind us. But yeah, those restarts, I just could not catch a break to control those things. So I would have to be sitting in the catbird seat. So we got pretty lucky a couple times there. Thought we almost lost it there on that last one. It got sketchy, but we powered through. It was a blast. I even started dead last too, and we won this thing.
Yeah, choosing not to qualify. We've seen that as a strategy by many of the top contenders. But Jared, you managed to pilot it all the way from the back. Highest mover. If we'd have had a bet on who gets a VRN t-shirt, you definitely would have been my pick. And you weren't even on the OPT. You were on the regular set. Any high-stress moment out there today that just stands out to you? Any whoopsie daisies or almost brown pant moment?
Man, I was like host of our. I think I wrecked like 2 guys there. I wrecked Sean Walton there early on, and then I got the 18 loose and sideways. But Sean Walton, he slid up, and if you're gonna slide up in front of my nose, you got to be able to take the push, and obviously he didn't have the balls for that. But yeah, I think with the 18, he just that was just an accident. Got real close. I think he got loose on the top lane, and I was just there and kind of helped him out, getting down to the bottom. Obviously didn't want to wreck end anybody's day, but yeah, we had a couple close moments there, sliding through the field, down on the bottom, missing wrecks. Definitely put those dirt track skills to the test tonight.
We did see a couple of people making that Tokyo drift. You brought up getting loose on the outside lane. There were a few drivers mentioning that during the race, and it's still a topic of conversation right now. Did you also experience that looseness on the outside? I mean, it seemed like that wall was just calling people's name like a siren on the open ocean.
Yeah, I think I honestly didn't. I felt pretty good every time I went to the top. It was just the guys that they'd slide up into the wall. You got to kind of lift a little bit here in the corner, and I think a lot of guys just held her wide open and kind of found out the hard way what happens there. I only felt the tires loose at that before that yellow came out on that really long green flag run. I was starting to feel it there when I was sitting fourth. Luckily that yellow came out. I didn't have any teammates at that point. I was like, all right, I'm gonna pit with whoever the guys in front of me. We're gonna figure it out then, and hopefully be there at the end. So, but yeah, we were racing with Kevin, talking to Kevin.
Who were the teammates today? Who were they?
It was just me and Kevin until he wrecked out, and then David Owens picked me up, and he's like, hey, we're gonna work together, and I was like, okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we could tell there at the end, Owens trying to give you that push there at the end. And then once the Penske boys kind of made it 3 wide, we saw Owens go a little bit high, and then the Penske boys made it 3 wide. Theme of tonight was making it 3 wide when people got loose coming out of 2. And then that basically turned it into a drag race, and you powered straight through, got that victory with Owens pushing you. Anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight, Showboat?
Yeah, all the Bonfire guys. They put on a really good show on Sunday. We didn't get the finish we wanted. There kind of got some misfortune with some netcode, but other than that, Kevin Kyle and Kimberly, his wife, who's gonna be hosting me. My vacation officially started at 4 o'clock today, so we ran this race, and we're starting the vacation on a high note.
I'll tell you,
I got one question, me and Jane, though. How much milk do you want me to bring you to Vegas?
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
And
Will
what
it
milk?
even
Do you
still
want
be good?
non-fat? Do you want 1%? What do you want?
Shoot, let's throw some chocolate milk in there. I like some chocolate milk.
Yeah. Joseph Newgarden over here. Let's do it. I got you.
Maybe you should save it for when I kick your butt at go-karts.
If I have not heard that from every single one of my friends already, the amount of pressure on me this weekend, me and Gene, is just insurmountable.
I don't know. I've got more to lose than you do. I'm the real driver here.
Oh wow! Shots fired. The real driver, just because he has his real sheet metal. Me and Gene, look at this guy.
Just because you have a real race car and we don't.
He thinks he's a real driver.
Mean anything?
It's real to me, damn it.
I have a wheel in my living room.
I spent almost real race car money on this.
No, that's not a lie. Well, Jared, I'll tell you what, bud. Enjoy the win, and I hope you guys have a heck of a fun time next weekend. Enjoy your vacation.
Hell yeah, Jared.
Time.
Great job, my man.
Friend.
Great job, my man.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, there he is, Jared Kelly. He's made 2 appearances, and he's had 2 wins. Maybe you could call his boss and ask him if he can just come in a couple hours later on Tuesday morning. Maybe he could be a full-time driver over here.
Or you know, Jared Kelly could just grow a pair and sleep a little bit less. There's that too. He's a young man, me and Gene. He's a lot younger than you and I are. He can, like, I was sleeping 4 hours a night when I was his age. He can do it.
I mean, all he's got to do is make it to, halfway through the work shift and then take that 4-hour energy drink and he's gold.
Done. Like, easy as that.
Yeah.
It's
that's
a him
what all
problem.
the cool kids. That's what all the cool kids do. Yeah, I thought he was him.
I thought so too. That's what he tells us every Sunday, right?
Yep. Speaking of, he is him. How about Colin Bollinger holding on to a 1-point lead now over David Owens? That gap gets tighter.
Yes,
Joe Volpus as well as 18 points back. So those top 3 guys giving each other a firm look. It's like 3 Spider-Mans all pointing at each other, getting ready to see who is who.
Real quick, me and Gene, continue going down this, but is there a better model consistency that we've ever seen? Honestly, I'm going to be real, in any MRL league than Joe Volpus right now.
I mean, the guy always seems to be up at the front. He makes the right decisions. Unfortunately, when you're up at the front, that's where it gets crazy sometimes, like we saw today, and him just getting wiped out.
Still brought home 8th, though, I mean, Gene. Still brought home 8th.
A little bit of loss of control. He did good, but he had higher hopes. He was imagining pushing his buddy Brandon up to that dub and maybe getting him a 2nd place, but instead he watched his teammate. Did you see my air quotes?
I did see your
Watch his teammate David Owens go ahead and push some rando Jared Kelly
Rando
to
alert.
the win instead. Rando alert. Rando Calrissian. Kevin Kyle, 4th place. He's on the outside looking in, but with that win, he's in. Andrew Bolander, we did speak with him in 5th place. Tony Iverson, dead last today, but 6th place in the points. Still looking for a win, but Tony having a good year, 6th place. Looking positive. Jose Medina, he's in 7th. Good run by Jose this season, looking to make a playoff run. Daniel Smith moves up 4 spots. Jax Duvall moves up 4. Eric Thornton, missing the race today, drops down 4 spots. Hopefully that's not a trend. He has no win.
Novella
so
as well.
He needs to get in. Matt Novella moving down 3. Well. And look who moved up 2. That's right. My hero, Sean Walton, now in the 12th and final playoff spot.
Yeah, and then behind there is where it really gets really interesting to me and Gene.
It's tight.
Tight. Especially let's look at that win column real quick. And 14th place, we got Alex Hillman with 7 starts. Hillman did miss today, and honestly, as a teammate of his, I'm not sure why. So shout out. Hope you're okay, Alex. But he's good as long as he starts. I think 1 more race. Alex is sitting pretty. He'll be in those playoffs, so we'll see him there. So let's go ahead and take away a spot there. So now we're looking at 11th is your first spot, and that's Matt Novella. That means Sean Walton is on the outside looking in right now, which is pretty. Yeah, I know, your favorite driver.
No.
I can't believe I managed to find someone that you love more than Tony Iverson, me and Gene, because I thought that was an insurmountable amount of love. But
well, you were too. There wasn't enough room for both of us that close to the teat, so I had to go elsewhere.
We got to be selective about that limited area. You're very right about that. I'll tell you a few things that are sticking out to me right now, me and Gene. Jax Duvall has had a really, for him, in my opinion, quiet season. This is a guy who went to a Final Four last season and was less than, what, a hundredth of a second away from being an MRL champion in the Cup Series here. Jax Duvall felt like he was getting so much momentum to end that series, or to end that season, and not to say that he's fallen off. And again, just to talk more about what we said with like Owens and everybody else, I think it's just the quality of this league has just risen even more than we could have imagined. But even with that, Duvall comfortably, I don't want to say comfortably, but holding on to a playoff spot, and that's someone that I would say that we really would love to see there. But man, me and Gene, the last thing I'll say that sticks out to me looking at these standings is that a lot of really fast race car drivers are not going to be in the playoffs, just like last year. It's just already obvious. It's already a done deal.
Yeah, outside looking in, never where you want to be. But every win counts. This was race 9 of our 12-week season, so there's still 3 more races coming up that these guys are going to have that opportunity to get the win. And even once you get into the playoffs, those guys are still going to be running hard. They're not going to wreck a playoff contender.
No.
But let's face it, if you're up at front at the end of a race, why would you push that guy when you could get that beautiful trophy on your case instead? So 11, that's right. Novella and Thornton, that is tight. So guys behind them are going to have some work to do. You can see Walton 11 points behind, Jack Sanders 20, and then 26 behind is Hillman, but Hillman with that win needs just one more start and then he will be in. So that is really the question. Can Colonel Sanders and Sean Walton close the gap, or will someone else come along?
Come out of nowhere.
A case of beer, a Brandon Guerin, a Steve Lewis, a Brower. We saw Swingle running.
Someone
up
not
at the
pictured.
top.
Exactly. Someone not pictured here.
Exactly. So these guys as well can just come out of nowhere and take that dub and punch their way into that playoff picture as well. It's getting tight, though, as well. Top 3 drivers all staring at each other. This regular season far from over. When we go to Dover next week,
They
didn't even mean it.
I'll say one more thing, me and Gene, before I take these things off the screen here. Talking about just how competitive this league has become. This is a done deal here. This is going to happen unless these guys get a win. Looking at the outside, it's going to be one of these guys. So it's going to be Sean Walton, someone we've talked about all year who's had winning speed. He might make it to the playoffs. Jack Sanders, a champion of the MRL Monday Night Series, this very series, may not make the playoffs. Jonathan Quesabir, somebody who has just been borderline dominant on plate tracks and has really, really just unlocked a new level of performance, may not make the playoffs. Brennan Garand, who almost got it done today, may not. And then I will spoil one thing for us, me and Gene, with, I believe, the rules here and how many races you have to start. The only spoilers that we have left are Richard Swingle and Kevin Brower. If those two, and those are the two that you don't see pictured here, but they're not far out. They're in 20th and 21st respectively. If either of those get a win, they will qualify for the championship or for the playoffs, and they will take away a spot from somebody else. So there is just a ton on the line here, me and Gene, and so many fast drivers who won't even have a chance to race for a championship.
And then you get knuckleheads, though, that might come in to protect you. You might have a Jared Kelly show up and collect another ticket.
Yeah, who knows?
Keeping a second-place finisher on the outside looking in. Ooh, that's going to leave a mark. I'll tell you what, though, great racing today. We saw a long green flag run, which we love. We saw some fast and tight racing, which we love on these super speedways. Once again, MRL Monday Night Mayhem, just bringing all the action for you guys at home. Tell you what, you like what you see? I know you do. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Take this opportunity. Tell your friends. We're broadcasting Mondays, 10 o'clock Central, and we are also on Thursdays at 11 o'clock with a rebroadcast of our Thursday Truck Series. You can also catch Zach and I Sundays at 11 o'clock Central over on the Bonfire Race League Network with their Premier Cup Series as well. So 3 races we are currently broadcasting, all of which will be transferred to our home network, the Vortex Racing Network, starting at the end of this season, and I can't wait to make that happen.
Me and Gene, it's so cool that we've gotten the opportunity to cover so many amazing leagues. The BRL and the MRL loosely, or I wouldn't say loosely, but they're related.
Sister leagues.
Yeah,
Sister leagues.
they know that, you know, your typical brother-sister relationship is what you see over there. But the opportunity to cover two amazing leagues, we didn't get the chance to even talk about what happened yesterday morning because of how good today was. But yeah, if you guys have not gotten the chance, head over to the BRN, the Bonfire Racing Network on YouTube. Check out what happened last night at Talladega. I won't spoil too much for you guys besides saying it was the closest finish in BRL history. And you'll be watching the white flag, Mean Gene, right? Will you not? And be thinking, no, it's not. No, it's not. And trust me, boys, it is.
Yeah, we're talking 10,000th of a second.
And you wouldn't know.
Thousands.
And you wouldn't know that was going to happen until, oh man, there was about 1,000 yards left in that race, maybe 10 football fields, and then, oh, I'm not going to spoil anything beyond there. Go watch that. And go watch us over on BRN. Follow us on youtube.com/@Vortex Racing Network. We're also over doing Cup Series races, just doing watch-alongs with all you guys, giving away free stuff for those who were there in the chat with us. We've been having a great time over there, Mean Gene.
Everyone loves swag.
Everyone loves that free swag, and we're all becoming, Mean Gene included, big Todd Gilliland fans over there. So it's been fun to discover new drivers and those young guys that are really just pushing the sport forward, as Mean Gene has said so much about. But it's been an amazing time. We will not be around this Sunday because, as Jared Kelly alluded to, me, him, and Kevin Kyle, Dalton Geyer, a couple other guys you've seen in these broadcasts will be over there having some fun. We'll get some content for you, just like Mean Gene does every time he runs off away from me and makes a beeline to a racetrack. I'm going to sure as hell be doing that and giving you guys some fun content from there, maybe with some familiar faces. But Mean Gene, this has been an amazing experience, and I talked about before this race started how excited I was to be back at this racetrack. I'll be honest with you too, I don't like this racetrack as a race car driver. I can't stand it. I wish we were still at the old place. But man, as a broadcaster and with a league like this, wow, I was right to circle this one on my calendar. These guys put on a show like they always do, and I'm sure the guys in the field aren't thrilled about having someone like a Jared Kelly come over. But man, if you hate it so much, then what should you do?
I'd wreck him.
I'd say beat him, but we're at different points of our racing careers.
Beat him with the front bumper.
Yeah,
I'd beat him with the front bumper of my car. That'll learn him.
That's the way to do it.
That'll learn him good. I'll tell you.
I think you're nothing like that Jared Rose guy.
I was really excited, though, to see how at the beginning it looked like it was going to be calm. Everybody falls in line. And then as soon as those cars started getting loose, going up high out of 2, we saw that middle lane form. And that was when all of the action and foolishness really started to appear. Any final thoughts before we head out, Zach?
Besides muting David Owens as he sneezes in our camera, or in our audio, none. I mean, Mean Gene, like I said,
got a chair under the doorknob.
Oh my goodness, our padlocks. How do they keep finding our codes? I thought 6969 was creative. I didn't think they'd get onto that. But
I had 1, 2, 3, 4.
We keep coming up with these brilliant codes, and they keep getting them somehow. It's like they're in Ocean's 11. But amazing race again today, Mean Gene. I've said it a million times. I said it last year. But I don't feel any less lucky and just privileged to be able to call these races. It would be a crime for these races not to be broadcasted on the air for everyone to see, with these amazing drivers and the shows these guys put on, putting it all on the line, clearly showing how much this championship means to them as we get closer to the playoffs and everyone so badly wanting a chance at it. It's just put on a great show. For those who are watching, we thank you so much, and those who aren't, tell your friends, tell your dog, your grandma, everyone. Mean Gene tells you too, because this is some good entertainment, my friends, and it's only gonna get better. We go to Dover next week, and that's a track where I know I can rattle off some names for you guys right here. Matt Novella, David Owens, Tony Iverson, Kenneth Redinger, if we get to see his face again, and Colin Bullinger. Watch out for those guys next week. They're going to be ridiculous at a track where the cream consistently rises to the top, where driver talent is prioritized above all. We're in for a treat next week, because not only does it give us that, Mean Gene, it gives us 1 mile short track, super fast, intense racing. So I can't wait. Do not miss it next week. And we will see you guys. I will miss you guys. I won't be there on Sunday for BRL. And I know Mean Gene, I think it's going to be Buddy Sally, are going to just doing an excellent job covering the action in the first race of their playoffs. It's killing me not to be there, but I'll be making a beeline back home on Monday after my trip to Vegas, Mean Gene, because I'm not going to miss MRL next week. I can't wait.
No, Monday will be quite the show next week as we are in Dover. My final thought, how about 7 winners in 9 races? Same guy winning twice with the...
a part-timer.
A part-timer winning twice, but Colin Bollinger, the points season leader, 1 point over Owens, but he does have the 2 wins, Bristol and Charlotte, at his for his bragging point. David Owens right behind him, 1 point back, got that win at Auto Club. Gonna see what these guys do, and you know darn well I texted Kenneth Redinger as soon as this was over, said good to see you again, buddy, please keep coming back. And while I was at it, I sent a shout out to David Cook as well, because that's what I
oh man,
do.
I'd moved on from that, Mean Gene. Oh,
no,
you just opened up a wound for me.
That's the girlfriend I won't let go. Is the friend I will not let go.
I forgot about you.
I have a pass. What do they call that? A pass? You know, you get a pass.
Yeah.
And that's my one.
That's your one.
If
He's on
Cook
your
comes
list.
Back,
did you laminate it?
He gets my charter. I'll let him right in. Anyhow, been a pleasure again, Zach. Always fun to be here on the air with you guys at home. Thank you so much for joining us, and it has been a pleasure as always. This is the end of MRL Monday Night Mayhem. This is week number 9 of our 12-race regular season. On behalf of myself, Mean Gene Money, Zach Panzarella, our sponsors, Chantilly Lace, DDI, KK Woodscapes, the admins, John Beverly, Joe Vulpes, and hey, all the fellas back with the production truck boys. It has been my pleasure to bring you this broadcast. Can't wait to see you next time. And as always, bottoms up and hammer down.